ready to go. Ohio State won the toss. They deferred, so Arizona will be receiving. This is Chuck Levy, the Frenchman sensation that everyone is anxious to watch, as Tim Williams will be kicking off for the Buckeyes. Levy going back along with Vaughn. It'll be Levy with the ball. And he'll be dropped at the 22. Arizona will set it up there. And we're going to see a lot of different looks today for the Wildcats. George Malolulu will be running the team. He's had some starting calls in the past for this Arizona team. He came in relief last year to take the Wildcats to 3 victories. He's left-handed, even though he's ambidextrous. And he's going to run Dick Tomey's team. And this is his 5th year at the helm in Tucson. Lamar Lovett, a redshirt freshman, is split out. Malolulu trying to throw to Terry Bond, deflected and broken up, incomplete. That was Alonzo Spellman, number 99. He's 6'6", and that's what Arizona feared. His height would be a factor in that particular situation. Here's Malolulu, Mario Hampton, the fullback, Lamont Lovett, Billy Johnson in the backfield. Up front, look at this guy, Vincent Smith. He's the biggest football player in the collegiate ranks at 368 pounds. John Fina, their best lineman. That's Hampton, the fullback. He gets to the 25-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd down and still 8. As Judah Herman, number 36, made the stop. There's the defensive wall. Spellman, Smith, and Fremmel. Herman joined by Tovar, who's an All-American candidate. Kuchersky back after injury. And a secondary that's been revamped. Foster Falk is the only returning starter. They moved Cook to a corner after playing safety a year ago. 3rd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Malolulu's got time. Levy makes the catch, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. Roger Harper, who John Cooper says reminds him of David Fulcher, who played for him at Arizona State, up to make the stop. And so the Wildcats will have to punt. And this is an area of concern for Dick Tomey. Last year, the Wildcats were 9th in punting in the Big Ten, and Adam Grand, who shared the job a year ago, will be punting to Brian Stabline. He gets it high, not particularly long. 38-yard line to Stabline. He'll be tackled at the 40-yard line. So, Lynn Swan, Ohio State will start their first series of this 91 year in very good field position.
They'll have that field position as a result of just offensively not being able to put together that first drive. Some mistakes already by a very young offensive receiving corps for Arizona.
Kent Graham getting his first starting call. He's a transfer from Notre Dame. He's the most experienced of the quarterbacks. He's 6'5", 220 out of Wheaton, Illinois. Hand off to Scotty Graham, the fullback, and what an effort by Rod Waldrop. Waldrop coming up to make the stop. He is the nose tackle. And let's take a look now, the rest of the Ohio State offense. Scotty Graham, Carlos Snow back after missing all of last season. Edwards and Stabline at the flankers and split in. Up front, Saunders is starting, but we're going to see Jeff Ellis before the day is over and see a lot of him. He just became eligible. Their best lineman is Alan Klein. They feel he could be the best since Jim Luce. No gain on the last play. Graham giving off to Butler Benotti. And Benotti, the sophomore from St. Louis, able to move the ball up to the 44. And defensively, let's check Arizona. Harden was a starter, as with Waldrop and Wade. That's what that asterisk indicates. Hopkins, one of the most heavily recruited players in Arizona history. Watch Skurlock. He will hit you. And back deep, Holt is back, as is Bobby Rowland, who made so many big plays. Morrison is a junior college transfer. 3rd and 7 now for the Buckeyes. And Graham on the option to Carlos Snow, and Snow very close to the 1st down. Into Arizona territory, and so Ohio State is not known to be an option team, coming up with a new wrinkle.
Not known to be an option team. A tough situation for him right here. 3rd down, and already we might find an injury on this team. Number 7 is down. That's Joey Galloway.
Scurlock made the stop. Now Galloway, the Ohio State coaches are so very excited about. He's a freshman out of Bel Air, Ohio.
Both these offensive units want to establish the run, and you see here the option being executed extremely well. No one coming up on Scotty Graham here, and you see right there is where the injury is caused. Joy Galloway has got a stand-up block going downfield. The wide receivers don't know where the ball is when it's being run behind him, and all the action just came into the back of it and looked like his knee just buckled, Gary.
He's a redshirt, a freshman. First down now, as they did pick up the first down to the 48-yard line of Arizona. First series of the game for the Buckeyes. No score. Graham now changing the play. Pressure coming. Intended on the far side for Bernard Edwards. Good pressure coming up the middle that time. Excellent job that time by the interior of that Arizona defense. Marcel Wade, who last year was a linebacker, now playing defensive end.
We'll take a look at the quarterback. The Arizona defense will take some chances and play a little more man-to-man coverage to put pressure on the quarterback. Right there, we had excellent pressure from number 15 coming in. The ball was thrown too high, wide.
That was Jamal Lee, not Marcel Wade. Lee's a junior college transfer who's been hurt most of the spring, but having some impact there. Second and 10. On the option again is Graham. This time he keeps it, and he's buried by Arizona. Waldrop, number 92, one of those who got there. He is the sophomore out of Horizon High School in the Phoenix area. Jimmy Hopkins also.
Gary, as we watch the Ohio State offense moving the ball down the field, when you look at their strengths and weaknesses, it is very much the running attack, if you want to call it a strength for this team.
Third
Snow
down.
coming back from an injury, we just don't know how strong it is at this point.
And with Robert Smith, as we documented earlier, not on this team. Third down 10. 3 wideouts on display for Ohio State. Make it 4. Graham rolling to the near side. Complete to Edwards. And he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Bobby Rowland over defending. As Graham, they didn't want him to force the ball. They didn't want him to play outside of his abilities. Just not make the mistakes. And here doing a good job.
Well, any competitor who comes in the ballgame, especially a quarterback, sometimes feels they want to make it all happen. They didn't want that because then he would try and force passes. He would make the big mistakes, throw into interceptions. What they want is a running attack to really control the game and then pass when they have to or pass for the big play. 12-yard
gain on that last completion from Graham to Edwards at the 36 of Arizona. Benotti carrying the ball, and he'll get to the 35 and is buried there. Butler Benotti, who's looked so good, and he's going to have to play well in the absence of a Robert Smith. Sophomore out of Vashon High School in St. Louis. Hopkins and Waldrop combining on the stop.
It seems like early in this ball game, Kent Graham is changing a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage.
Showing some poise, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
2 years of backup to Tony Rice at Notre Dame, transferring here. Played a total of 45 minutes last year. Second and 9. Nice fake by Graham. On target to Stabline. He's got a first down at the 18-yard line. Holt, Richard Holt makes the stop, but I'll tell you, Graham had something on that pass.
Sure did. For a moment there, it looked like it was going to go right through Brian Stabline's hands over his head. The play action works very well. Looks like the defense is playing a combination man zone. He just comes down in the middle, drives off the defensive back, comes back to the ball here. Look at the cushion between he and the corner, number 37, Richard Holt.
17-yard gain. So Graham has completed a 12-yarder, now a 17-yarder. First down, just outside the 17. Sprint draw, handoff to Benotti. He's got clear sailing. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Play. Benotti does not have to worry about anything. He gets to the outside. He's 10 yards away from the end zone, and he knows it's a touchdown. Excellent blocking by the line up front.
Graham is doing an outstanding job of handling the ball, engineering this Ohio State offense. That will go as an 18-yard touchdown run. Point after attempt now coming up. Tim Williams out of the hold of Curb Street. And it's right down the middle. So Ohio State, their first series of 91, they get it in. And they have an early 7-0 lead.
Getting to know you,
Getting to know all about you.
Not long ago, Honda and Toyota were known for the highest mileage. But today, there's Geo, the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before. And cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Oh, he looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent groom.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
None. You?
Just one.
What?
That I waited 25 years to give you this.
The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
the Cowboys and an FC East fight. We're gonna be a boogie down in Dallas Monday night.
Ohio State wasting little time on the scoreboard. On that drive, they were 2 for 2 on third down conversions. And John Cooper, who has a back brace on, you can probably see the shell. He's had lower back surgery. They fused a couple of the vertebrae together. That back's got to feel a little bit better right now, though.
100% better. Excellent field position. They only had to really go half the distance of this football field, 59 yards to score.
And Benoni taking it in. This is Levy again. He'll try again to get the Wildcats started. The kick by Williams, a flag on the play. Levy will bring it across the 10 to the 15 to the 20, and that's about where he made it the first time. But as we mentioned, there's a flag down at the Ohio State end, right about where the line of scrimmage was when they kicked off. Tom Quinn, the referee.
We have offside on the kicking team.
That's about all it could be from that point.
So the option will be explained to John Fina. They can take the ball there at the 21 or have them kick over. Now, there's a new rule this year in kickoffs. Can have a 5-yard penalty if it goes out of bounds. Can you see? Oh, yeah, look at that. Way offside.
Full stride.
Yeah. They're starting to say you can assess a 5-yard penalty, or you can take the ball out of the 35-yard line, or where it goes out of bounds. So the premium, Lynn, obviously, is when you kick off, keep the ball in the field of play.
And it's really tough on teams like Arizona that like on kickoffs to kick it to one side or another so they can force the return to come down that side.
So Williams, who will punt as well as do all the kicking for Ohio State, will now kick off 5 yards further up the field at the 30. Joey Galloway, who was hurt earlier, twisted his ankle and probably will not be back. So we're going to have to wait to see the promising redshirt freshman.
Gary, he's very fortunate in that situation that twisting an ankle is all that happened.
Tim Williams ready to go again. 7-0 Ohio State. 9:55 to go first quarter. We're going to have a record crowd today because of all the new stands they've added in the right end zone. This one hit well. Levy from the 2. And Levy will bring it out to the 28. So they come away much better field position-wise. They would have had it at the 21 had they refused the penalty. Byron Cook was there. Now, this is the new addition as you looked at Ohio Stadium. They tell me with all the scaffolding and all the stands in that right end zone, The seating is equivalent to St. John Arena, which, of course, is where the Ohio State Buckeyes play basketball. Look at the intricate scaffolding of that. So they're going to have a crowd potentially over 91,000 today. There's that scoring streak that ended in the Aloha Bowl, and they were shut out by Syracuse 28-0. And right now, Arizona's being shut out as this Ohio State defense reacted very well on that play. That was the nose guard, Greg Smith, a former walk-on. Boy, Smith is something special, all Big Ten academic player.
As we watch this game today, Gary, what we're seeing here is strength playing to strength. The strength of Arizona is their offensive line and their running game. The strength of Ohio State is that defensive front line and linebacking core. And so far, here in the second series, you have to give the edge right now to Ohio State.
2nd and 10.5. Honolulu in a little bit of trouble, getting rid of it, and the completion will give Arizona their first down, their initial of the game. Terry Vaughn on the receiving end. Vaughn started as a true freshman last year for Arizona, and that's a much-needed completion for the Wildcats.
Terry Vaughn is the only receiver on this team with real great experience. As George is back there scrambling, you see Vaughn's downfield. He's waving, I'm open, but most importantly, he comes back to the quarterback, gets down on his knees for that low catch to make the grab.
Terry Vaughn had 22 catches a year ago. He's a guy that doesn't have blazing speed, but he'll make you miss. 13-yard gain. Honolulu on a sprint out. Gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Chico Nelson almost came up with the interception, and Steve Tovar, the All-American candidate at linebacker, unloaded on Malulu.
Oh, tough situation for Malulu. He came close to throwing and getting sacked and throwing an interception all in one play.
Chico Nelson, the free safety, reached around the intended target, but it was Tovar up the middle. There is Nelson. His first name is really Willie Nelson, but he prefers to be called Chico. 3rd down. Make it 2nd down 10. Malulu sprinting around, in trouble again. Fumbles the ball. Arizona gets it back. Malulu had no chance. That was Smith again who was down there. Good recovery that time, very alertly by Nick Finian-Ngofo, who eventually recovered it for Arizona, but they're going to lose yardage all the way back inside the 30-yard line.
Can you imagine? Greg Smith, a junior, was a walk-on here at Ohio State, and last year led the Big Ten in sacks with 7. I mean, how fortunate can you be to have this kind of talent just walk onto your team? He's a pre-med student, a walk-on, as you mentioned, and one of those guys who has really impacted John Cooper's defense. 3rd down, a loss of 11, 3rd and 21. Delayed handoff to Hampton. He'll get some of it back, but considerably short of the first down. And so Arizona will have to punt again. The line of scrimmage, their own 38-yard line. So in the early going, the Wildcats haven't been able to get out of their own end of the field. Adam Grand will come in to punt the football. Stabline goes back for the Buckeyes. 7:39 first quarter, 7-0. The Buckeyes lead it. Grand last year, the 36-yard average, gets this one very well. Stabline at the 18. And he weaves his way to the 25. Ohio State will have it for the 2nd time. Coming down quickly on that play was John Fina to make the stop. The Buckeyes lead it 7-0.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Bulletin from Chevy Truck. Now get $1,000 cash back on every new 1991 Chevy full-size. The best cash back offer on America's best-selling pickup. Now through September 25th, $1,000 on every new 1991 Chevy full-size pickup. Every half-ton, 3/4 ton, 1 ton. Every 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, all with $1,000 cash back. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 25th. See your Chevy dealer for details and get $1,000 cash back now.
Hey, Dads, football's back. Got your family rallying behind you and your favorite team?
Yeah, Dad.
Didn't think so. Kick off a night of laughs with dinosaurs Wednesday.
In one of the biggest games of the year, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame invade Michigan to tackle the #2 Wolverines. Plus, coaching legend Bo Schembechler's studio debut. Later that night, 5th-ranked Penn State meets the Trojans of Southern Cal. And the World Gymnastics Championships begin with a primetime special, all next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Well, not everyone is in Ohio Stadium. Muirfield Village, the site of the memorial, which we're so privileged at ABC to be able to cover. Jack Nicklaus course in the aerial shots today, courtesy of the Spirit of Akron, sponsored this year by Goodyear Tires and the Blimp Tour of '91. I know today Lynn and I tried to get a ride on that Goodyear Blimp.
Oh, I've flown the Blimp before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm ready to get in there someday. 44-yard punt by Grand, an 8-yard return by Stabline. Buckeyes have it at their 26. There's the option again, and Graham caught from the backside. Good reaction that time. Thrown for a couple of yard loss. That was Marcel Wade. Let's go to New York now for an update. Here's Roger Twyble.
To Keith Miller, 24 yards in the touchdown pass, and the Eagles with the lead against the Wolverines in the first quarter, and a big win in Starkville for Jackie Sherrill. Mississippi State upsets Texas 13-6. Back to you, Gary.
Wow, you know, Jackie Sherrill at A&M used to give Texas fits. Now he does it at Mississippi State, and he's 2-0 in the early going. Here's Graham wanting to throw to Stabline. Good coverage that time by Richard Holt. So to bring up a 3rd down and 12. How can you figure this year out, huh? Already Mississippi State upsetting Texas. How about that Penn State score?
81 points, and they're playing my alma mater next week.
Oh, a game you'll see here on ABC.
Yeah, Southern Cal. They lose to Memphis State. I wonder what they're thinking.
As you can see here, Ohio State dominating this game in the early going with a 7-0 lead. 3rd and 12 for the Buckeyes. 4 wideouts for Ohio State. On the option, and pitches it dangerously to Scotty Graham, and he'll be stormed for a loss. That was almost an ill-advised pitch by Graham. No turnover, but the Wildcats, led by Sean Harris, had that one diagnosed all the way.
And a whole gang of Wildcats made it there. It's not too bad, Gary, on this pitch. You see when he gets hit, his hands are pretty clear, and there's no one really around the back when he tosses it to him. Everybody was up on the line of scrimmage, so it wasn't too dangerous a pitch to make in that case.
I would imagine Cooper, though, paused for a moment on it. A little nervous. Lost back to the 21-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down, and this will be Tim Williams punting. Back is Terry Vaughn for Arizona. And he makes it out to the 50-yard line. He is a guy who makes you miss. And he did a great job bringing the ball up to the 50-yard line. So the Wildcats are their best field position after a 41-yard punt. I'd like to pause now 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
KGUN, Channel 9, Tucson.
Gary Bender along with Lynn Swan. We have 5:38 to go in the first quarter. Ohio State 7-0. Wildcats are their best field position. Malulu pitching. Billy Johnson makes it to the 41-yard line.
On that one play, Gary, it looked like Arizona just decided to use some speed, get to the outside, and execute. That's the best play they've executed so far today. They did it without hesitation, without stopping, without being stagnant on the play.
Dick Tomey, his 5th year as coach at Arizona. The last 9 ranked teams he's played, he's beaten 7 of them. And, of course, Ohio State ranked top 25. From the 41 on a 2nd down and 2, and very close to the 1st down. Alonzo Spellman, the big 6'6", 285-pounder, helping with that play up the middle. And it'll be, let's see, did they get the 1st down? They did. They indicate 1st down. Line of scrimmage at the 38. Malulu out of Carson, California. He was really playing well as a freshman, then tore up his knee against California. Never did beat out Ron Field for the starting job at quarterback and came in a relief role. First down at the 38. Sprint draw handoff that time to the battering Ram fullback, Mario Hampton. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And for the 21st year, through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the general scholarship fund of each school. So if Lynn and I can agree on that, we'll be able to pick something out.
I'm sure we'll come to a meeting of the minds towards the end of the game.
Third down, 6. Malauulu. Make it second down. Here is Malauulu on the option. And inside the 35, knocked down at the 34, Judah Herman on the stop, and Herman is playing so well for this football team from Ohio State. Malauulu not able to get that one going at all, so now will be a third down and 6 to go.
At the beginning of every college football season, there are always so many questions a coach has to try and answer to get ready for the next game, the next season. One of the questions for Ohio State was Andy Gerd, number 49, who has played very well for them, but his knee has been operated on 4 times, but the last 2 plays, he's done extremely well with the speed.
Trips formation the near side, 3 wideouts. Malauulu throwing, and the catch is made by Levy, and that'll be a first down to the 22 of Ohio State. Chuck Levy, who they've been ranting and raving about, making the catch for Malauulu. That'll be a 12-yard gain, and the Wildcats now moving the football.
Brent Johnson, number 30, was a man he beat on that play.
Levy's the guy who will play quarterback. He'll play tailback. They'll split him out. They just want to get him on the field in any way that they can.
It's a tough place, Gary, for a freshman to be. You know, try and learn how to play quarterback and learn 2 or 3 other positions in this football team, and there's such great expectation of that young man's talent.
First down at the 22. This is Levy now running for the tailback spot. Nice move to the 15, and he makes it to the 12. Very close to the first down. Boy, you saw some moves there, didn't you, in the open field?
Excellent move, just deciding to turn it upfield. One of the things that's hard to teach a running back is when to take his speed and just move it upfield. You watch him here, he'll get the handoff, he gets excellent blocking up front, but then he'll find the gap, and he'll just turn the speed on. Now, I imagine, Gary, as he gets more comfortable, a hit like that will not stop him. He'll maintain his balance, and that good run will turn into a touchdown.
Yeah, that confidence will help. 11-yard gain, first down. Handoff, and no place to go this time. Lonzo Spellman was the first to get there, along with Andy Gerd. Boy, they tried to sneak their big fullback Hampton up the middle. It just hasn't worked at all thus far.
Hampton was primarily a blocking back all of last year, but the intention is to try and get him the ball, use him much more off the middle in this option offense.
So Ohio State defense was second in the Big Ten a year ago. Second down, 11 yards to go. 3 receivers split to the near side. Malauulu, touchdown, Levy, and the freshman with his first touchdown in his collegiate career.
Wants to throw the football much more this year. But Dick Tomey is an option man. He likes to run the football. Give credit to George Malauulu for that excellent pass or strike right down the middle.
12-yard completion for the touchdown. Point after tip by Steve McLaughlin. Adam Graham to hold. It's good, and we're all equal at 7. So after Arizona got up on shaky footing, this guy, Levy, puts them on the scoreboard. Arizona and Ohio State deadlocked at 7.
With a full-size sedan like this, power for effortless passing and on-ramp merging is a necessity. Caprice doesn't scrimp in this department. It doesn't scrimp in efficiency either, with the highest highway mileage of any V8 in its class.
The more I tested it, I knew nothing was going to stop this car except its anti-lock brakes.
Chevrolet Caprice Classic LTZ is Motor Trend Car of the Year.
When you can win over attitudes like ours with a car like this, it's got to be good.
And now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
I don't know how you expect to sell this stuff. It's too plain. There's no excitement. You're gonna need some flash here. You know, fancy commercials with big rock stars, catchy jingles, stuff like that. Now hang on, I like this. It's not plain, it's simple. Honest? Hey, an honest cereal called?
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
Everything else is just hot air.
Well, Dick Tomey told me earlier this week, look for Chuck Levy. He doesn't want to be called Charles. He wants to be called Chuck. The freshman out of Compton, he said he's going to be the best player I may have ever had. And already he has a touchdown on a 12-yard scoring strike from Honolulu. They say he is one of those guys that just makes you miss, a phenomenal athlete, and sometimes you're reluctant, Lynn, to get too excited about a guy until you see him play, but I'm starting to get excited.
Well, he's done very well. He came in here with a lot of responsibility, but I think, Gary, if Dick wants to see this man live up to all that talent, and I hate using the word potential because it's so dangerous, then he's got to settle down in terms of what position he wants this young man to play. I don't think he'll ever reach it playing quarterback, tailback, wide receiver.
Conte Lee and Carlos Snow back deep to receive the kickoff now, and kicking off is Jay Kirchhoff. He's a junior out of Bloomingdale, Minnesota. It's going to be taken by Dante Lee. Big hit. Big hit was put on. Excellent reaction that time by Corey Pittman, who's an inside linebacker. Backup inside linebacker, and he stopped him in his tracks.
Signals are getting mixed up back there. Who's going to get the ball? But watch, he makes his cut. Just a good, solid hit right there.
Line of scrimmage will be just inside the 20-yard line. 7-all, 2:32 to go, first quarter. Off to Benotti. 25, 30. He's got open field running to the 45. He's to the 40. He's got one man to beat, and he's caught from behind. A great effort that time defensively by Sean Harris, because it looked like he might go. He had a blocker ahead of him, and Harris from the backside got a piece of him, but Benotti's forward progress to the 23.
What an excellent play. Great blocking up front, but right here, it's Butler doing himself. He makes a man miss, he cuts upfield, now it's a run. Of course, when you get this much field to run in, Gary, this is when you start thinking too much. He should have just taken off and forced that defensive back to make a move, allowing the block to be set up, and instead he was weaving downfield.
That was Daryl Morrison he was playing with. Here's Scotty Graham running far side. Heath Gray misses him, and then Bobby Rowland knocks him out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Well, Benotti, we've been hearing so much about him. You heard so much about Robert Smith and Carlos Snow, but Cooper said, wait till you see Benotti. He's a splasher. Great quickness and a 57-yard run just a moment ago.
And he's only a sophomore.
Ohio State now at the 20-yard line. Second down. 7 yards to go. Alan DeGraffenried has come in as a wide receiver. He splits to the near side along with Edwards. Carlos Snow. Oh, you see the quickness of Snow. He led him in rushing 2 different years. He gets just short of the 15, and Mike Scurlock, a redshirt freshman out of Tucson, over to make the stop.
You have to respect Carlos Snow for what he has done for this team and how much courage he has. Now take a look at this play. Watch a block by the fullback right there. Scotty Graham just goes low, takes out that lead defensive lineman, and Carlos Snow is able to pick up the yards in the outside. But he's got to be tough. He's playing with a lot of pain. He's got an arthritic knee.
Third down, 2. He had a benign tumor removed from his hip, but it's the knee that bothers him more now. He's about 85% of the estimation of John Cooper. Here he goes again on a 3rd and 2. Very close to the first down. Snow showing great character and toughness to come back from all the adversity. And coming back at a good time now that Smith will not be back this year. It was Rowland and Waldrop on the stop for the Wildcats. And they're looking to see if they got the first down. And what a beautiful day this is in Columbus, Ohio.
The horseshoe, the big house, as
That's what they call it.
Boy, you get in here to play a game and you look around, there's nothing but red and white all over the stadium. And it's a wonder you can keep yourself together to concentrate on the football game.
It is a first down. Well, this is one of the places you got to come and see if you're a college football fanatic. It is an institution.
On a day like today, playing down in this end zone is the same as any other year. But when the wind starts to swirl and blow around here, those new seats in the end zone are going to have effect on it. They're going to keep that wind, and it's going to swirl a little bit more in this end of the stadium.
First down at the 13. Ellis and Saunders have come into the ball game. Double tight end alignment. Hand out to Benotti, who's checked back in, and he is locked down at the 11. Arizona really flying to the football on everything coming wide that time. That was Pittman again, number 98, who came flying over quickly for Arizona. And so that'll take it to the 11-yard line. Well, next week we have a doubleheader coming your way. Next Saturday, first at 3:30 Eastern, Notre Dame taking on the Wolverines of Michigan. Boy, that could go a long ways in this bid for the national championship. Then at 9 Eastern, the 5th-ranked Nittany Lions, who are just absolutely walloping Cincinnati, goes in to take on Lynn Swan's alma mater, the USC. Second down, 7th. Benotti again to the 8-yard line. Benotti's got some size on him. He's a 188-pounder and hitting up tough and tight that time. Marcel Wade, along with Ty Parton, made the stop, and we have an Arizona player down. Arizona very thin in some areas, and Marcel Wade is the guy that's shaken up. They moved him from linebacker. He's out of Oakland, California, to the defensive end spot. One of the most heavily recruited players that Dick Tomey has had come to Tucson. And so he is down at the 8-yard line. Benotti already in this game has 84 yards on 6 carries.
Where they're working on Wade down there, it looks like he may have just cramped up a little bit. We'll take another look at it right here. Benotti comes in. Wade's just down there. He doesn't look like he was in a position to hurt his legs on that play, but as I said, they were lifting up his leg, massaging that muscle.
I think he's going to be all right, Landis. He'll go off now. Line of scrimmage now the 8-yard line as we have a 3rd and 5 coming up for the Buckeyes. 7-all the score. 29 seconds left in this first quarter.
It'll be interesting. 3rd and 5. One of the changes in college football this year, the goalposts, the width have been shortened down. Is Cooper going to try to go for a touchdown, the first down, or field position for a field goal?
4 wideouts, 3 of them split to the top of the field. Graham waiting for Stabline to clear. He never did. Good coverage that time by Richard Holt. He had everybody split to the top of the field and looked to Stabline all the way to the end zone. It just wasn't there.
He wanted Stabline on that slant, but Richard Holt played him very well. He was on his outside hip. We'll take a look at it. And he waited for Kent Graham to throw the football to make a play. The only chance it has of being a catch is to be out in front. The ball's thrown slightly behind him, allowing Holt to break it up.
Well, here's what you talked about, the narrow goalposts. They're 2.5 feet narrower on each side, and this is going to be a 26-yard attempt by Tim Williams, who was 13 of 18 last year. Holding his Herb Street, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So the narrow goalposts don't bother Tim Williams. And the Buckeyes have the lead for the second time, 10-7. And I'm impressed with this offensive line of Ohio State. There was some concern about it coming into this game as being maybe the weakest part of their football team.
And you have to have concern. You look at the receivers. Bernard Edwards takes over for Jeff Graham. All he had was a backup receiver for most of the year. You've got Brian Stabline, who replaced Bobby Olive, who was a starter, so they've got some experience, but not a great deal. Then when you look at the offensive line, Paul Long, who's a center for this team, had 7 minutes in 4 games before coming in this afternoon. And Dave Mano, number 77, the right guard, he was listed as a defensive player in the player guide.
So Ohio State with a 10-7 lead with Williams kicking off. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of pressure on John Cooper. They need to get this thing turned around. We talked to him about it for his reaction.
Gary, what I've tried to do as a football coach this year is to try to block out all those distractions. I want to coach football to the best of my ability and let everything else take care of itself. The team, I think, is doing the same thing. We're trying to stay focused. We realize it's a critical season for us. We realize that our fans back, and I think we got the greatest fans in college football. And, of course, there'll be a record crowd almost every game we play. And these fans, you know, they want perfection, but they don't want anything any different from what I want.
Want perfection, that's easy to do, isn't it? Here is Levy now, the kickoff from Tim Williams. And he gets to the 21. Good coverage again by Ohio State. It seems to be the spot each time he stopped. That was Ryan Cook, the starting cornerback, down after a 16-yard return. Of course, John Cooper talking about the Robert Smith thing. When Smith first came out, he accused Elliot Uzelac, the offensive coordinator, and John Cooper of hindering him from his academic pursuits.
He first came out and said that they suggested that he forget about going to a class because it interfered with football practice. And we have to keep one thing in mind. Uzelac has nothing to do with the scheduling of those classes.
I think what has been happening since is Smith kind of backed off a little bit, apologized to the coaches, the families, the players. Now he's got to decide what he wants to do in the near future. As we have some movement up front. Greg Smith was moving.
And, of course, Cooper said also that the door is open for Robert Smith to come back, and he may sit back, think about it, reflect on what he's done and playing football, and may indeed decide to come back, which can only help the running attack for Ohio State. We'll take a look at the penalty here. Just jumps off sides. He snaps the ball.
Defensive contact, 5-yard penalty.
Most centers are taught that. Somebody comes off sides, they're in the neutral zone, snap the ball and pick up the 5 yards. Well, they should give him credit for it. Offensive rushing for a center.
Paul Toffelmeyer's a 3-year starter. Of course, his brother plays for the Seattle Seahawks. He was a second-round draft pick, Joe Toffelmeyer. So the 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 5. Alulu giving up. Here comes the big fullback, Hampton. So after that play had been stuffed on 3 different occasions, Hampton bursts out, and he's down. He's not up. After picking up a first down, Hampton is down at the 42. Chico Nelson made the stop for Ohio State. So Hampton down. We'll be back to check on his status. We've come to the end of the first quarter. Ohio State 10, Arizona 7.
Your biggest competitor is working on a proposal for the same job you're after.
You want this to be enlarged?
They have about the same idea as you do.
Copy this slide.
The only difference is...
Let's print it.
They own a Canon color laser copier, and you don't. Who would you give the job to? If you think you can't afford a Canon color laser copier, maybe you can't afford to be without one. Call 1-800-OK-CANON.
Getting to know you.
Geostorm. Great way to get away. 16 valves. Hello, road. The turns. The hills. This is it.
Get to know Geostorm and Tame Wild Road.
Now this could be contagious.
Catch one now at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Getting to know you.
Everything that flies needs fuel. Jetliners get theirs from BP, one of the nation's largest suppliers of aviation fuel. At 300 airports around the country, we supply the fuel and help keep the airlines humming. BP.
Finally, a golf video that meets the real challenges faced by the average golfer. Chi-Chi's Bag of Tricks, in and out of trouble with Chi-Chi Rodriguez. One of the most popular figures in the world of golf, offers simple solutions to the unavoidable hazards of the game.
Now, if you can learn to hit those shots, you can save a lot of strokes.
To order your video cassette, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Chichi Rodriguez help your game.
Ole!
Mario Hampton, he was the guy who made that 15-yard run. The big fullback is on the sideline. We'll try to get an update on him from Tulare, California.
Take a look here. There's the hit. Now watch his right leg as it comes down the plant and see how that knee just buckles right there.
That would mean that Craig Gilbert would come in as the backup fullback, a senior out of San Jose who'd been moved from linebacker. They'll need Hampton. He's kind of a battering ram, outstanding blocker. Terry Bond, Lamar Lovett have come into the Arizona attack as we start the second quarter from the 42. Barry Julian comes in motion. Malulu giving off to Gilbert, who just came in, and Gilbert stuffed. That has been very tough on that lead play up the middle. They have stuffed it on most occasions. That was Spellman and Judah Herman for Ohio State on the stop. Boston College has added to their advantage. Boy, what a shock that would be, huh?
A school like Michigan not paying it. I don't know if you can say they're not paying attention, but you know, they're playing Boston College, maybe looking ahead to another game.
See, half of the Big Ten idle today. Levy in at the tailback spot now for Arizona on a 2nd and 9. Nice fake by Malulu. Tovar is giving chase. And a nice catch is made and then dropped. That was Barry Julian who tried to come up with it. Roger Harper really smacked him. That's Harper, number 24.
Roger Harper loves to hit, was a flanker, moved to the defensive secondary in spring of '90. It's very dangerous throwing back against the move like that. The ball is caught. There's no way he's hanging on to it. A very precarious hold on the football.
Well, Harper is a 224-pound, 6'4" safety. That's linebacker credentials. 5 DBs now for the Buckeyes on a 3rd and 9. Try to cross him up. Billy White Shoes Johnson, who has really emerged in the preseason camp for Arizona, gets to the midfield stripe. Derek Foster, Tim Patillo made the stop. Brings up 4th down. Let's look back now to the first quarter. Plays very even. As far as rushing's concerned, Ohio State getting the better of that.
Well, I think it's just better control of this football game by Ohio State. Running the football, trying to mix things up at the appropriate time. Time of possession is equal. Field position is about the same also.
On 4th down now, Adam Graham to punt the football to Stabline. Big rush up the middle. Stabline calls for the fair catch. He'll make it to the 12. Buckeyes have it. The Buckeyes have the lead. 10-7. As we have a record crowd on hand here at the Shoe.
Bulletin from Chevy Truck. Now get $1,000 cash back on every new 1991 Chevy full-size. The best cash back offer on America's best-selling pickup. Now through September 25th, $1,000 on every new 1991 Chevy full-size pickup. Every half-ton, three-quarter ton, 1 ton. Every 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, all with $1,000 cash back. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 25th. See your Chevy dealer for details and get $1,000 cash back now.
Oh, Father, I'm against your drink. What's the matter, lad?
Well, Monsignor, it looks like I couldn't raise the money to save the orphanage after all. I guess I'm a failure.
Father, I'm not going to Hollywood after all.
Bless you, Janice.
There's a buck, Father. It's an honest buck.
Like Larry Milligan from Wall Street. Stocks and bonds. I've invested in their future.
All you needed was a little faith, lad.
And friends, Monsignor. It's great to have friends.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, and buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Stand up!
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on number 2 Michigan in a college football classic next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Ohio State's last win against the Pac-10 in '85. They'll play Washington State in Game 3. Ohio State has 7 home games this year, including a neutral site. They play Northwestern in Cleveland. First down now for the Buckeyes. Scotty Graham, the fullback, out to the 19-yard line. Mike Skurlock made the stop. We understand that Sean Harris has been hurt for Arizona. He hurt a knee, so Corey Pittman's playing a lot there, and there's the score that continues to surprise. There's a big one of the Pac-10. Washington at Palo Alto, and the Cardinal will be tough.
Tough to start out with a game like that, Washington, Stanford. No chance to really get warmed up, adjust. You're into it.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Benodi, and he'll bring it out to the 23-yard line. Skurlock again on the stop. Skurlock all over the place.
He should be. At his size, playing linebacker, 5'11", 198 pounds. When's the last time you saw a linebacker under 200?
Well, he's a former defensive back. They say he just accelerates through people when he hits them. And he reads so well, and the redshirt freshman made a handful of tackles already. They're going to measure here to see if they got the first down. 12:34 to go in this first half. 10-7 Ohio State. Well, Monday at 9 Eastern, ABC's Monday Night Football is coming up. How about that NFC East? Unbeaten in the first week, 5-0. As we're going to take you to Dallas, Troy Aikman and the Cowboys host the Washington Redskins. Both teams have coming off of those wins. The Cowboys vastly improved. And I'll tell you, Lynn, a lot of people picking the Redskins to win it all.
Well, Gibbs is an excellent coach. He's got some great talent there, but you've got to give Johnson a lot of credit. Dallas continues just to improve each week, each season, game by game.
The measurement producing the first down. Graham to Benode again, and this time he's not going to get up the field. Good reaction that time. Guess who it was? Skurlock.
Let's take a look at him. Again, he's only 198 pounds. They don't want to get him locked up one-on-one in the guard. He uses his speed and quickness just to shoot by a blocker. He makes the initial contact, bounces Benode back, and then reaches, grabs on for the tackle.
I asked Tommy for a kind of a thumbnail on Skurlock. He says he's a lights-out guy, meaning he'll knock some people's lights out.
Or someone will take his.
Yeah. Loss now, 2nd and 14, back to the 19. Graham with good protection. Hey, it's broken up. All of a sudden, the ball loose at the 10-yard line.
That's a fumble.
Boy, I tell you, that ball just came loose. All of a sudden, Dave Mono, 77, saved it. I've got to look at this again. What happened here?
Well, take a look. He's getting ready to throw the football. Skurlock will be coming in on him, but watch his arm. If his arm is not moving forward, it's a fumble. Right there, he goes to throw. Skurlock just reaches over and knocks it out of his hand. Number 22, take another look. Right there, just reaching out. He's being blocked, but he makes that effort.
Boy, that's great effort. Skurlock. And so, as Lynn mentioned, that would have been and was a fumble, but Mono came up with it at 10. Now it's 3rd and 24 for the Buckeyes. 4 wideouts on the play, and they cross him up as they hand it to Benode, and he stumbles short of the first down. He had some running room. All of a sudden, the feet going out from under him. Warner Smith, a true freshman of San Manuel, Arizona, a little mining community in Arizona, over there to help him on the ground.
And on that last series of downs, Gary, Arizona took some chances. They played a little more man-to-man. You saw Skurlock coming on the outside, getting more of a rush. They've got to do that. They're trying to hold field position. They can do something with this punt. They'll have great field position for this drive.
Terry Vaughn back for the Wildcats at his own 35. Tim Williams with a punt. And that's about all he could do with that as he brings it across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Arizona's got it. They're down by 3. We'll be back.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
and the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work, and the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments,
We might look great bald.
And you decide you want hair. There's only one thing to do. See your doctor. Or call this number for more information.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
Coming this fall, ABC opens the files of 80 years of FBI investigations.
A federal district judge was shot and killed.
From kidnapping to murder, find out how America's most notorious criminals were captured.
I can see his eyes.
Their paranoia played into our hands.
Experience firsthand the high-stakes, high-tech game of federal law enforcement.
She was told to take it to her grave. He knew he would get a life sentence.
FBI, the untold stories coming this fall.
Last year, Arizona was not a balanced team, as you can see with the stats there. Last in the conference in passing, but today, much better balance in the early going. 48 rush, 41 pass. From the 38, the Wildcats have it. No place to go for Billy Johnson. That's Spellman again. Spellman playing a strong game. Also Tovar on an assist. Now Michigan on the scoreboard. Gary Mulligan a little nervous, I'm sure, as they play at Boston College. We have a change in the offensive line. Mu Tongawani, number 74 out of Honolulu, has come in at left guard. Mike Heemsbergen was the guy who started there. Tongawani now in number 74. There he is. 2nd and 11. Honolulu in a lot of trouble. That was one of those plays where his pitch man was so far up the field he couldn't pitch, and now here's a late flag. We may have a late hit on Ohio State.
24, Roger Harper is wondering if they're calling it on him. I think maybe he just might not have been able to stop himself. Now look right here. He's already given ground. He's backing up. He's got no place to go. Now let's see. He goes out of bounds. I don't think anybody hit him. He's trying to hold him.
Well, and they waved off the flag. They just waved it off. Tom Quinn came over and gave the wave off, holding the yellow hanky in his hand, and very wisely so.
Yeah, that time Roger Harper was just trying to hold him to prevent him from going over the bench. Looked like to one official like he may have made contact to push him.
This is a very good crew. Tom Quinn and his group considered to be one of the finest in the Big Ten. So it's going to bring up now 3rd and 16 for the Wildcats. 5 defensive backs now come in for Ohio State. David Lockhart, the All-American in track, comes to the near side, number 1. Richard Griffith, the tight end in motion. Malululu stretching the field, pitches to Levy. I think Levy got it back, but they're very fortunate that he did. That play just never did get started well. Good reaction by Ohio State.
Well, this is defense exceptionally well, Gary. Watch the defensive players just stringing the play out. They've got a man on the quarterback, a man on the pitch man, playing them half in between. The ball's pitched. He just couldn't get the handle on it. And it's a blown play.
So it's 4th and a bunch. 4th and 23. As Grand will go back to punt. So Dick Tomey's team not able to capitalize on that good field position. Moving backwards. Stabline to receive the punt. They don't come after him at all. Stabline coming up and takes a big hit just across the 45-yard line. The Buckeyes have the football at the 8:31 mark of the 2nd quarter. They lead it by 3.
Tackle by 31.
When you buy a Supercolor Special TV antenna from Radio Shack, you get a great value. And Radio Shack has everything you need to make installation easy. Best of all, you get Supercolor's advanced technology for the clearest picture and sound possible. Reception so lifelike, it's incredible.
Hey, great picture, huh, Howie?
And Supercolor antennas are here just in time for football. 2 great antennas for city, suburban, or long range from $24.88. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store.
Oil.
It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. Introducing the new Fram Extra Guard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
It's Monday Night Madness from the unforgettable.
Touchdown! William Perry.
To the most regrettable. To the fun and the booth.
Didn't know you cared.
The very best of ABC's Monday Night Football is now available on home video. Call 1-800-4ABC-DCR for Monday Night Madness any night of the week. Only $19.98 plus $3 for shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-DCR.
Ohio State, who's jumped to a 7-0 lead, then had themselves tied, now with a 10-7 advantage. John Cooper, who never beat Arizona when he was at Arizona State. He was 0-2-1. The one time that he faced Dick Tomey was in '87. A monstrous finish to that game. Arizona State just had to punt the ball away. They fumbled the punt. Chuck Cecil fell on it, and Arizona kicked the field goal with no time remaining to end up in that tie.
It'll be interesting to see if Ohio State just opens up their offense right now. They've got great field position. They'd like something big to happen and not waste a lot of time with it.
On a 1st and 10, and almost didn't get that exchange made. And Cothran, Jeff Cothran, who was a Prop 48 casualty a year ago, but has outstanding credentials, picks up a first down to the Arizona 38-yard line.
Take a look at this handoff. If anything is going to hurt a good football team early in the season, it's mistakes, timing. And that particular play, the timing was just not quite perfect. A long way from perfect, as a matter of fact.
Certain didn't bother him, though, did it?
Not the end result.
Ends up being a 16-yard gain from the 38. Cothran, a prep All-American out of Middleton, Ohio. Mishandled snap. Graham gets it back, but they're going to blow it dead. He went down on a knee to get the ball. So Graham and the center Paul Long, who played all of 7 minutes last year for Ohio State, having some problems with that exchange. A loss of 2 on the play.
Take a look at it here. What Ohio State can't afford to do is just get too relaxed. They're playing good football. The offense is executing well. You don't want to just say, okay, this is the way it's going to work all the time. Keep your concentration and keep your focus. That's how you make it happen consistently.
Benote and Cothran are now in the backfield in the I formation. Benote, play action fake. Graham throwing up the field. Was it trapped or caught? I don't think the officials are sure. Stabline says he's got it. We don't have a determination. The officials never did indicate whether that was trapped or caught by Stabline. I guess it was caught. And it was first down.
First down. Excellent play action.
Well, nobody wanted to make the signal.
No one was sure. And that close, well, they decided not to take it away from him.
What a great fake that time by Benote going up the middle. That's a 14-yard gain. Line of scrimmage to 27 now. Graham to Benote again. And he's at the 23. That'll give us a chance to remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll have scores and highlights from around the country. Also going to look back at Memphis State's stunning upset of USC in Los Angeles last Monday. Plus, we'll hear from Dave Perry, the supervisor of officials in the Big Ten Football Conference, regarding the controversial taunting call last Saturday near the end of the East Carolina-Illinois game that may have cost the Pirates a shot at victory. It's all coming up right here at halftime on ABC, the Prudential Halftime Report. We have a timeout now by Ohio State, stopping the clock with 6:47. Ohio State leading Dick Tomey's team 10-7.
I'm Frank Gifford. Monday night from Texas Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. Both the Skins and Cowboys had opening day victories. The Cowboys beat the Browns. Washington wiped out Detroit. The Cowboys, led by young quarterback Troy Aikman, are talking playoffs. Once again, the Skins talking Super Bowl. See all the action, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
What is a commish? Yeah.
It's got a long neck with a nose on the front of it.
It has big old ears.
Soft and cuddly.
Small and creepy.
Fellas, you know what a commish is?
Small and slimy.
Police Commissioner Tony Scully is the commish this fall on ABC.
Well, Benote with 100 yards, 10 carries, not a bad average, huh, Lynn? 1 touchdown.
And a great way to control your opening football game of the season. Takes a lot of pressure off Kent Graham to have to go out there and throw the football and make it all happen himself.
His long run was a 57-yarder. Ohio State, they've had some running backs. I think about Archie Griffin, the 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. Keith Byers. You go back through the years, and the Buckeyes have had that. What was that? Woody Hayes, 3 yards, a cloud of dust.
Yeah, we played them twice in the Rose Bowl. We got the best of them the first time, but 1974, he took care of USC 42-21.
2nd and 7 after the timeout by Ohio State. They have 2 timeouts left in the half. Graham on the option. Nice pitch that time to Benote, who makes it to the 20. That'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. Richard Holt filling from that right cornerback spot.
Holt did a great job. He was being blocked by Brian Stabline, but he got the best of Brian. He was in excellent position to make the play once the pitch came to him. He just waited for it.
Well, Graham was not known to be the option quarterback as much as a straight drop back, but he's done a good job in running the option. William Houston, a big burly fullback, comes in. Also Cawthorn and Benote. And this is Benote. He's got the first down to the 15 of Arizona.
Rob Waldrop, number 92, was able to get behind that line of scrimmage and trip him up just a bit, so he had no power once he came through that line.
Waldrop, the starter last year as a true freshman out of Horizon High School in Phoenix. He and Barton were high school teammates playing alongside each other in that defensive line. Ohio State now will have it with a first down just short of the 15. Stabline along with Edwards split out. And we have a flag, a stoppage before the snap of the ball. Tom Quinn will explain this one.
Dead ball. Ball starts on the offense.
So the 5-yard penalty.
Didn't see that anywhere.
I didn't either. I looked at the play clock. I thought maybe that had expired, but it hadn't. 3rd penalty against Ohio State for 15 yards.
Let's take a look right there at the bottom of the screen. 67, Alan Klein. Arizona's got a lot of people up on that line of scrimmage. Looks like they might be playing a little more man-to-man, trying to get more people on the ball very quickly.
Double tight end alignment on a 1st and 15. Graham on a nice keeper again. Gets 5 of it back. He really does a good job of hiding the football. Distributes the ball very effectively, and in his first start, he's done a good job. Let's watch Skurlock, number 22.
As you watch him, keep in mind, when you run that option, you've really got to put the ball in to the man's belly so you actually make the defense commit to him, then pull it out. The option's great for teaching quarterbacks how to fake the football.
That was Skurlock's 8th tackle of the game. He's already caused a fumble in this game. 2nd and 10 now for the 15. Almost didn't get that exchange made. Cawthorn carrying the ball to the 1. That's twice. Cawthorn and Graham have almost messed up the exchange. But it doesn't bother Cawthorn.
Well, not once he gets a football in his hand. Richard Holt, number 37, makes a stop. But in the process, Cawthorn almost got the ball in the end zone. Take a look here. The exchange is there. He touched it away. A very quick hitting play. Puts his head down. They're trying to strip the football. But he is driving straight ahead for the end zone. That's a good run.
Looks to me like number 8's going to play a lot of football for John Cooper.
I think so.
1st and goal at the 1. A 14-yard run by Cawthorn. Out of the picture last year due to academics. Benote, and he did not get in.
Now this is
defense.
Now having Cawthorn play so well and having Benote playing well, and Snow also has been in there carrying the ball, that's a real bad sign for Arizona's defense, because you've got 3 tailbacks, 3 halfbacks shuttling in and out of this ball game, staying fresh. In the second half, if conditioning is not optimum for Arizona, these young men will have a field day running up and down.
2nd and goal. They're about a half yard away. Elliot Uzelac, the offensive coordinator, standing alongside John Cooper. Minote, nice stop that time. Beautiful play. Heath Bray flying up from his free safety spot. He's a coach's son. He's out of Cherryville, North Carolina. That's a big stop.
Well, looks like a gopher tunneling under that lead blocker. Watch here, he goes underneath, tries to go underneath. The blocker goes lower than he does. Jeff Cawthorn, number 8, was the man who was supposed to block him, and he takes out the back.
Big play by Bray. They consider him like a coach on the field, playing that free safety spot. Excellent defensive effort. Timeout, Ohio State. They have 1 remaining, as that'll mark it at the 2 when we come back. Right now, let's take a visit to Tucson, the home of the Arizona Wildcats.
A glimpse of the universe never before seen. That's the promise of the world's largest telescope, the Columbus Project. Now being developed in partnership with Italy's Arcetri Observatory, the Ohio State University, and the University of Arizona, where scientists will cast the telescope mirrors. Sited on Arizona's Mount Graham, the Columbus Project will take astronomers back to the beginning of time. The University of Arizona, opening doors to discovery.
Gary Bender and Len Swan from the Horseshoe in Columbus. The play by Heath Bray forced Ohio State to take their 2nd time out. Reevaluate as they now have a 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line.
I think the option has worked well for them. I look for Ohio State probably to run that option to the wide side of the field to their left.
They've got a double tight end alignment. William Houston, a big fullback, as the lead man in the I left formation. Graham keeping, and he's in. Touchdown.
Ohio State on offense executing extremely well.
Well, Graham looks like he's been at that quarterback position for the last 3 years. He's really played with some poise. That was a big question mark coming into the game. Williams point after attempt. And it's a 17-7 lead in favor of the Buckeyes. Well, John Cooper is unbeaten on opening day since coming to Ohio State, 3-0. And obviously, this would really get his football team going if they continue to play here because of all the distractions that they've had. We told you at the start of the day we'd have a record crowd. Well, we weren't disappointed. Are you ready for this? 92,743. The old one was 90,970. That was set in 1988 when they played Purdue here.
I guess Muirfield isn't as crowded as we thought.
I tell you what, you're not going to get 92,000 out at Muirfield. Isn't this some setting, though, from the Goodyear Blimp? It's a special place to be on a Saturday afternoon. 17-7 the Buckeyes. 92,000. And they have about 13 of them in the new stands that have been set on the right. Tonight, ABC takes you down, under, and out west. First, meet the real Crocodile Dundee on a World of Discovery special, The Crocodile's Revenge. Then a Young Writers movie special, all starting tonight at 8, 7 Central on ABC. Crocodile Dundee. I went down to Australia in January, never saw him there.
I think you're in the wrong part of Australia.
Okay, all right. I was really disappointed. Arizona has 35 yards rushing. Ohio State 151. And there's that last drive. Graham with his first touchdown. Williams kicking off. Levy up to the 15. Got a little wall to the 35, the 40, 45, and tackled at the 50-yard line. He is going to be something. Foster Polk was over there. That'll be a 47-yard kickoff return. It's just potential oozing from every fiber of his body.
Well, he's got excellent instincts, smart running here. You see the blocking up front. He sees an opening, he takes it. Now watch the moves here. He doesn't waste a lot of time. It's just to cut in, keeps his balance until he's driven out of bounds. He's brought him to midfield on an excellent return.
And at a very opportune time as far as Dick Tomey is concerned. Starting for the 50-yard line, down by 10. Malauulu giving off to Billy Johnson. Johnson squirms his way to the 45-yard line. Boy, Billy Johnson had a tough time last year. Purdue, under new coach Jim Coletta, doing a good job. But Billy Johnson, he almost lost his life last year. He had a respiratory problem. He's had asthma, and then he had a bronchial infection with it. And Johnson missed all of last year for the Arizona Wildcats and has come back so strong. Number 38, starting at tailback. 2nd and 5. Malauulu to Johnson, the man we were talking about. He's got a first down. Little burst there at the end of the 37-yard line.
And the interesting thing, as I read some of the articles about Johnson, it seems like he didn't really know that he had asthma until he had some other respiratory problems, and it all came out.
Well, he came from oblivion to become the starting tailback. He'll come out now. Levy will replace him. First down, and Arizona now at the 37-yard line of Ohio State. Lamont Lovett goes to the top of the field, split out. He's the redshirt freshman. Malauulu instead will look to Bond, intercepted for Brian Cook. Cook to the 40. Malauulu did not look off the defender, tried to make a connection with Bond, and Brian Cook picked it up.
Take a look at Malauulu here. For a moment there, it looks like he hesitates. Watch him, he looks in, he starts it. No, he doesn't hesitate, he just throws it in there. The defensive back was all over that play.
Well, he
Brian
telegraphed
Cook.
That one, didn't you feel, Lynn? You can see that one coming.
He's looking straight down the field, I think, at the safety to get a read of the play. Then he turns and looks inside, and he wants to throw it to the receiver. As I watch him come off the ball, the receiver was never open. I don't know, I don't understand what he saw that made him actually throw that football.
So Malauulu, who threw a touchdown pass earlier of 12, suffers his first interception of the year, as Ohio State has it now at their own 43-yard line. 2:34 left in the first half. Minote, play action fake by Graham. Graham scrambling around, and he takes a big hit. He's knocked down at the 40-yard line. Great reaction that time by Richard Maddox. And also Pulu Pumele
with the running game working so well, look at the play action right there. He's got everybody bottled up on the offensive line. Right there. Pulled our cameraman just a bit there, but he's holding on to the football, gives him extra time, but he didn't fool everyone. A couple of people came in, forced him out.
I'm really impressed with the ball handling of Graham. Loss of 3, second down, 13 yards to go. Again, the play action. Pressure coming from Ty Parton. He got away from Ty, but he's not going to get away from the rest of them.
What's happening, Gary? They're coming up to the line of scrimmage. Arizona's playing man-to-man coverage. So they're looking to move the ball downfield. They're trying to get more people to rush the quarterback, to be up on that line of scrimmage to try and stop the Ohio State run and to put pressure on them.
Now, Arizona's going to use the timeout. They want to get the football back, save as much time as they can with 1:30 left on it. That is their first. And Ohio State come to the near sideline. Good pressure now by Arizona on a couple of plays, and Graham's had to really scramble around. It'll be 3rd and 17 when the Buckeyes come back on the field. John Cooper with 4 new assistant coaches. Jim Coletta, his offensive coordinator, now the head coach of Purdue. And Elliot Uzelac, who's really gone through a tough year. He has had an angioplasty procedure, which is a heart procedure to unclose an artery. He's had it twice. He was telling us yesterday he's really sore, and he has some doctors on the sideline there just in case.
He had it done twice. They said his artery was blocked, about 90% blocked, and that angioplasty is a balloon they insert up through the groin into the vein.
Oh, I don't want to hear
and
it.
They unblock it, and then they had to come back and do it again. But he said the doctors on the sidelines, just in case. A lot of people were teasing him, saying all this stuff about Robert Smith might have sent him back for the second one, but they were only teasing him.
Well, Uzelac has been around. He's been a very valuable coach of the years, head coach at Navy, Western Michigan. assistant Michigan for so many years. In fact, he was telling a lot of Bo Schembechler stories.
Yeah, I was trying to defend myself with a couple of Southern Cal, and I don't think I held my ground.
You lost a lot of ground, I noticed. Third down, they're going to call it 16. 4 wideouts on the play. Dante Lee will go in motion. Graham crosses him up, handing out to Benote, and he's got the first down. Tumele was over there to make the stop. You talk about setting them up. 4 wideouts, and they go right up the middle.
That run was off the same fakes, play-action fake that they had run 2 or 3 times earlier. You knew sooner or later they're going to run it because man-to-man coverage. Look, there's no linebackers in the middle of the field. He's wide open. He only makes contact when he comes up to a defensive back, number 14, Pete Bray.
21-yard gain. Benote having an outstanding afternoon. To the 42, so the timeout that Arizona used now kind of haunts him a little bit, giving Ohio State, who has 1 timeout remaining, a chance to score once again. Graham. Dante Lee, the intended receiver. Dante Lee, an ex-running back, moved to a wide receiver. Bobby Rowland defending for the Wildcats. That'll stop the clock with 1:06. 17-7, the Buckeyes leading Arizona. Teams met only one other time. That was back in 1967, and Arizona won it. Olentangy River to the right of the Horseshoe Ohio Stadium, and that record crowd we mentioned of 92,743. Raymond Harris now is coming to the backfield. He's number 34 for the Buckeyes.
Tim Williams hoping he'll get a chance to take an extra point or a field goal.
On a 2nd and 10, they give it. No, yes, they do. Harris has got it. Great fake that time again. Reaction by Arizona was very good to the fake. Coming over there was Corey Pittman. He's playing in place of the injured Sean Harris, who is out. He was hurt early in the football game. I can't get over how Graham hides the football all day long. He's been hiding it. That time giving off to Raymond Harris.
Well, it's a combination of things. You've got to run the option. If you're reading, you got to put the ball in there to the fullback so that he gets an opportunity to hold on to it. And if you don't think it's open, you pull away at the last minute. That's if it's a true option and you read on every play. Carries over into the other plays.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. Again, 4 wideouts for John Cooper's team. Graham being pressured. Throws off his back foot and almost got away with a completion to Harris, who couldn't hang on. That was Marcel Wade who was in his face. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Looked like number 22, Mike Scurlock, was a man who almost had a chance at that ball.
Scurlock has just absolutely been everywhere on the football field. Vaughn will go back for Arizona. 53 seconds left in the half. Wildcats have 2 timeouts remaining, as Williams will punt for the Buckeyes. Williams, with his average, very unusual to see a guy punt as well as do the place kicking. They feel he's the best man. They've had a tough time with their punting. Boy, he hits this one high. Vaughn's just going to let it hit. It'll go into the end zone for the touchback. And at the 20, that's where Arizona will have it with 44 seconds left in the first half. Well, there's been an awful lot said about John Cooper. He's in the 4th year of a 5-year contract. He had been rumored asking Dr. Gordon Gee of Ohio State, the president, for an extension of the contract. We talked to Gordon Gee about what had happened on the extension.
The media said that he wanted an extension. It was one of those kinds of give and takes. John and I never truly talked about that, and I indicated, as the same that I did with Bill McCartney, that I would take a look at the situation with the coach at the appropriate time, which I did with McCartney, which I will do with John Cooper. But everyone should know who's listening to this that I think John Cooper is a fine coach and a fine person, and I'm very supportive of him.
Well, that still has a couple of chapters to unfold. He left Bill McCartney with a 15-year contract at Colorado.
I asked him what that appropriate time was. He felt in a 5-year contract, he said the appropriate time is after the 4th year is over.
Well, that'll be this season.
Yes, at the end of this season.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Malolulu back. This is in trouble, maybe. No, deflected to Bond, and Bond on the deflection makes the catch. There is a flag, however, at the 30-yard line. That was Brian Cook, who picked off one earlier, who deflected the ball to Terry Vaughn. I thought that ball was headed for an interception.
Yeah, it looked like a shot put to me, just floating in the air coming down to Cook.
By number 13, Chico Nelson.
A wideout never set on the offense.
That wideout possibly was Terry Vaughn, who caught the ball, so they'll bring back the game. So with 32 seconds left, they'll have the line of scrimmage instead of the 48-yard line of Ohio State. It's going to be stepped back inside the 25, and it'll be marked at the 21-yard line.
If a wide receiver doesn't get set on a play, I think that's a responsibility of the quarterback. He's got to look around, make sure all of his people are where they're supposed to be, signaling someone to go in motion. If they have to stop and then get set again, he's got to give them the proper amount of time to do that.
Well, I would think you'd know something about that. You've been out there a few times, split out.
Yeah, and every time I did something wrong, it was always the quarterback's fault.
Malulu with the touchdown, but also the interception. Now he has second down, 8 yards to go. Little quarterback draw. Comes out to the 30 and will be tackled there. That's very close to the first down. He may have gotten it. Ryan Cook over there to make the stop. If it is, he'll stop the clock to move the sticks. Let's see if he got the first down.
If it's that close, I think they'll stop it to measure.
Well, Arizona's going to use a timeout anyway. So they'll have one remaining. It appears as though they're just short of the first down. Coming up again at halftime, don't forget, we'll look back at that big upset of USC by Memphis State. What a shocker. And then Dave Perry will talk about the very controversial play in that East Carolina-Illinois game. I saw that, and I'm anxious to see it again. All coming up at halftime. The Prudential halftime report. We'll go back to New York and join Roger Twibel. Dave Perry, the supervisor of officials for the Big Ten Conference. He'll be the guy who will explain what happened.
And the officials here have said that it's a first down, so
they did get the first down, but Arizona called the timeout anyway, as just across the 30-yard line is where they have it. Not a lot of options left here with 24 seconds.
No.
This Arizona team started out very shaky, and then all of a sudden they tied the ball game up 7-7. Williams coming back and adding a field goal at the end of the first quarter to make it 10-7. And then Graham able to score to make it a 17-7 game. Kent Graham, the quarterback. James Bullock, one of those speedsters, the track man at Arizona, will be split to the top of the field along with Levy and Billy Johnson. Malulu back. He's waiting for somebody to clear. He's got a man over the middle. Couldn't make the connection with Terry Vaughn.
He sent all those speed guys deep to the top of the screen, and then he had Terry Vaughn coming across a little bit more shallow, about 25, 30 yards downfield. On a play like that, Gary, if one of those speedsters on the outside just breaks open clear, you throw it to him. If they don't, then they should have cleared out that area, allowing Vaughn to come in for the touchdown, but the ball just wasn't in the target zone.
Looking from the end of where those new bleachers have been added, they added in two different stages, adding the last 5,000 seats this year. And so 92,000 of them here. A lot of ghosts of the past here from Ohio State with this great tradition. Malulu on the option. That didn't look very good. Levy's got the ball, but he probably wishes he didn't, as he's knocked down at the 25. They just haven't gotten that option really going right. The alignment looks wrong.
The alignment is wrong, and it also looks like George is giving some ground, which closes that gap on the option. Take a look. Let's see if it's a penetration of Ohio State. Look at George. He's going this penetration. He's just too far back.
Either that or he's too close to one of them or the other. I don't know which one, but we have come to the end now of this first half. 17-7 Ohio State will return with halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Malulu on the option. Giving up.
No.
What was that? That was
John
a Fumblerooski. John Fina, who lined up at guard on the Fumblerooski, waited for the ball to be snapped, put behind the center. He picked it up and ran with it. And I don't think anybody but Fina knew what was going on for a few moments there. It did not work as well as they had wanted it to. I'd watched him Wednesday in practice do it. The tip-off was Fina would come out at guard. We didn't see it. It didn't gain all that much, did it?
It did.
Second down. Let's give him a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Hand off to Levy. He's got the first down. He has that little burst, Lynn. It doesn't look like he's running very fast, but you notice he runs by people. They don't catch him.
Yeah, but he's also running somewhere. A lot of guys get out there and they're looking for a place to run. They're not quite sure. He runs with a purpose. He wants to go to this spot and cut, or he wants to get there. Tough to bring a guy down like that.
Boy, he's going to be an outstanding player. First down now at the 19-yard line. Vaughn split out the top. Also Richard Griffith. Levy again. Levy to the 15, and Levy's coming at him now. His forward progress near the 13-yard line. He's about 3 yards short of the first down. Steve Tovar and Chico Nelson. You get the feeling Dick Tomey got the attention of this football team. They're coming after him now.
Adjustments. We'll take a look at this play. Spellman, number 99, has been playing well throughout the first half. He comes in there. Excellent block. Taken out right there, which allows Levy to get through that line of scrimmage.
Gain of 6. 2nd and 4 for the Wildcats. Craig Gilbert, the single running back, backing up Mario Hampton, who's out with a knee injury. Alula, quarterback draw. To the 10, to the 5. Ooh, as he rocked to the floor. 1st and goal, but he took a real shot there.
Junior Herman, number 36, was a man who put that shot on. He was being held up by Spellman.
There he is, wearing number 36. That's the number of Chris Spielman, who played at Ohio State, and Spielman is Judah Herman's idol. Not a bad idol to have for that position. 1st and goal at the 4. This is the best Arizona has looked.
Well, they got a break and an opportunity. Question is, can they get points out of it now?
They're going to go to the bone this time. The wishbone. Levy and Johnson, along with Gilbert in the backfield, give to Levy. Off left tackle, maybe a yard. That's Spellman again. You said at halftime you wanted to talk more about Alonzo Spellman. You thought he was playing so well.
He was playing exceptionally well in the first half. We didn't mention his name a lot because we were trying to get into a few other things, but he's forcing the action. Last year was the first year he played defensive end. He was a linebacker before that, and some people thought, well, he's not adjusting very well. He made a lot of mistakes, but he did them at 100%. Now I think he really knows what he needs to do, and we're going to see a greater performance from him.
2nd and goal to 4. Malulu keeping. He's in. Touchdown. He showed some real strength on that one as he is able to dive in.
We'll take a look at him. As you said, Gary, there's a fake. He fights for it. He's showing some real courage. But every time a quarterback does this, you've got to wince. Look at how many times he gets hit. There are 3 red jerseys right there and a 4th on the way.
3-yard keeper by Malulu, who's thrown for a touchdown and now scores one. Point after attempt, Steve McLaughlin to add it, and it's good, and it's a 17-14 game. So after the fumble by Ohio State, Arizona wastes a little time converting it into 7 points.
Everything that flies needs fuel. Jetliners get theirs from BP, one of the nation's largest suppliers of aviation fuel. At 300 airports around the country, we supply the fuel and help keep the airlines humming. BP.
You want to spend as little as possible, yet still get the most for your money. So where do you go for tires? Your Goodyear retailer. He has a wide selection of tires at prices that are lower than you'd expect for such quality. Computer balanced, installed by experts. Where else could you pay so little for so much peace of mind? Good tires, good service, good people.
Goodyear.
Instead of trying to give your car a personality, maybe you should try a car that already comes with one. The Civic Si from Honda.
The Penn State Nittany Lions head west to tackle the Trojans of Southern Cal. It's a primetime special next Saturday on ABC Sports.
George Malulu with the new offensive coordinator, Pat Hill, talking as Malulu on that 3-yard run just dragged defenders into the end zone, showing how strong he is. Dick Tomey's team now down by 3 at 11:49 left in the third, and Cooper knew he'd have a battle with his old friend today that would probably go right down to the end. Those two guys are intense competitors.
And there are new assistant coaches on both these teams, so it's kind of hard to know what the influence would be on the way these teams would perform. So adjustments are critical here in the second half.
Jay Kirchhoff kicking off for the second time in this half, hits this one very well. Carlos Snow's going to bring it out. Got to the 25, got to the 21, and flags everywhere. That was very well kicked off by Kirchhoff. Got it high, got the return team, or I should say the coverage team down there. Let's see what the penalty flag's all about.
I would have thought he just would have downed the ball.
We have multiple fouls on the receiving team. We have clipping. We have illegal use of hands.
We've got the whole book thrown at him.
Well, we had 3 flags. What's the other one, Tom?
I think 2 pair of eyes saw one infraction.
Okay. Well, he would have been smarter to down it back there.
Maybe he just wanted to add a few more yards onto his record for kickoff returns. Of course, you know, he passed up Howard Hopalong Cassidy to take over that kickoff return record.
What a great name, Howard Hopalong Cassidy. Wasn't that something?
Oh, yeah.
One of the Heisman Trophy winners here at Ohio State, Les Horvath, Vic Chanowitz, Howard Hopalong Cassidy, and Archie Griffin won it twice.
Archie Griffin and Archie Griffin.
Looks like Ty Detmer's going to have a tough time trying to do a back-to-back one now, right? Well, that penalty is going to take it all the way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. 11:45 left in the third, and right now Arizona is starting to make this Ohio State crowd very anxious. Kent Graham will try to wedge it out, gives it off to Scotty Graham, and what a play by Jimmy Hopkins. Hopkins is one of the most heavily recruited players that Arizona has out of Brawley, California. He's had a trial at defensive tackle and has played linebacker as well.
Gary, he's been making plays like this all day long, getting penetration, not making a tackle at the hip or the chest, but getting a hand on guys, tripping them up, causing them to stumble all day long.
Well, Michigan has finally gotten on top in that game right now, but a long ways to go in the third quarter. Washington. You know, I was talking to Dick Tomey. He doesn't think Washington will dominate the Pac-10 like they did last year, but they're going to be awfully good. Second down now. Graham from his own end zone comes out throwing and makes the completion to Stabline. A little operating room as he brings it out to the 10 to the 11-yard line. They need to get to the 19 for a first down. Hopkins and Holt combining on the stop. So Graham, a little confidence in their quarterback, having him throw from his own end zone.
Oh, that's a little confidence there. There's Carlos Snow on the sideline.
Coaches can't say enough about his determination. He's playing with a knee that really causes him some problems. Arthritic knee, what is it, bone on bone? You've had some of that, didn't you, when you've tried to maneuver the last few years of your life?
Am I dead already?
Third down and 8 now for the Buckeyes. Graham to Edwards, and he's got it, and they get out of a big hole. Big hole. Out to the 26-yard line, first down. That was a very well-thrown ball.
In situations like these, you find out what kind of players you have. Excellent coverage. He's coming off the ball. Let's find out what Bernard Edwards can do when you really have to make a catch and you're covered. He comes through for you.
15-yard gain. Edwards has been a backup They had outstanding receivers in Jeff Graham and Bobby Olive a year ago. He didn't play all that much. He's out of Fort Myers, Florida. 15-yarder to the 26. Here's the option by Graham. Hits a bad pitch, and Binotti saves it back at the 20. Graham that time, one of the few times, not engineering the option well.
Was that Richard Maddox that came in there and hit him? Take a look here. He loved to pitch his ball and just have a free shot, but watch as he gets ready. Watch his white jersey right here.
Ooh. That's who it was. You're right on it. Richard Maddox, who had a bone removed from his foot in the offseason. Very unusual operation. He's playing in some pain and did not start today. 2nd and 16 from the 20. Nice fake by Graham. Now being flushed out. Flag on the play. Throws it complete, which is very close to first down. But let's see what the penalty flag is all about.
It's going to be on Jason Winrow, whatever the call is.
He's the offensive tackle for Ohio State. Flipping. So Winrow was a last-second replacement in the starting lineup for Mick Schoep, who's had some back spasms. Winrow played some as a backup last year, sophomore, out of Bridgeton, New Jersey. Nebraska having a big day, huh? Cornhuskers have an easy non-conference schedule before they get into the Big 8. So John Cooper, really, his team, it just hasn't gotten started here in the second half. They've been backed up, fumbled once, giving up a touchdown.
And unless they can make something big happen in the next couple of downs, he's going to give up field position once again. And so far on today, every scoring drive, with the exception of one 72-yard scoring drive that resulted in the field goal for Ohio State, was 59 yards or less.
Well, they got out of one hole on a 15-yard completion. Now they're back into it again. 2nd down and about 25 yards to go for a first down. They have 4 wideouts on this play, a trips formation to the near side. They give instead to Binotti, and he's up to the 10, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I'm noticing something, Gary, an adjustment maybe they made at halftime. We saw Maddox, number 56, coming in, hitting Graham one time. Right there, he was putting pressure on. Yet the interior linemen were staying home looking for the run because they've been fooled by that play-action fake. So now they got people staying home with a low pressure coming from the outside.
I really don't think Dick Tomey expected to see so much option today.
It was something that Ohio State showed little love. I mean, to my knowledge, this is the first time they've used the option.
So they've made some adjustments, as you picked up on, and have done a good job of it. 3rd down, still 25, and we're going to have a stoppage of the clock. And the official Tom Quinn will explain this one.
Time out before the snap.
Okay, they were running out of time on the play clock, and Arizona calling the timeout. Now, that's interesting.
I think Arizona saw something that confused them, and so they didn't want to make a mistake.
They were up in a 4-4 alignment before the snap of the ball. Anyway, Arizona uses their first timeout. The Wildcats were within 3.
What makes the Honda Accord so different? Honda's advanced technology. In fact, one of the most amazing attributes of the Accord is its ability to transport you into the future. Really, just get in and bingo, the future. Now, can your car do that?
It's Monday Night Madness from the unforgettable. Touchdown! William Perry! To the most regrettable. To the fun and the boot.
Didn't know you cared.
The very best of ABC's Monday Night Football is now available on home video. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR for Monday Night Madness any night of the week. Only $19.98 plus $3 for shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Richard Crenna and James Earl Jones.
When you work on the cover, you don't need no stinking badges.
There's a new team in town.
I'm not going to hit him. I'm too much of a gentleman. Like hell I am.
Richard Crenna and Emmy winner James Earl Jones.
Hi, boys. I can't remember when I've had as much fun as we've had the past couple of days.
Fun? I'd like to see what you call trouble.
together in Pros and Cons, coming this fall.
Stick around.
Back at Ohio Stadium, Gary Bender and Lynn Swan. Arizona asking for a timeout. They have an alignment problem. It brings up 3rd and 26 for Ohio State. They're 6 of 12 on 3rd down conversions, and this time Ty Parton just literally ran over Benote. Right now, this Arizona team has got this game headed the other direction, and Ohio State is going backwards.
Well, they've made the adjustments at halftime. They're coming out defensively, playing much more aggressively. They got a lot of people up on that line of scrimmage. You watch, again, good fakes there. The ball's handed off, but there's someone right on top of it.
It's Ty Parton. Now, Parton is playing with a bad shoulder, not the one he had operated on in the offseason, but the other one. He has a shoulder harness. As now to punt the football, be Williams as deep as he can get. He gets it underway. Terry Vaughn is waiting at the 45 of Ohio State. To the 40, and the Wildcats have excellent field position at the 39. Jim Borchers, who snapped the ball, going down to make the stop for the Buckeyes. So John Cooper, his team up by 10 at halftime right now, sensing this game is turning on him as they left the ball on the floor once, fumbling. Arizona converted it into 7, and now Arizona with a chance to tie, if not take the lead, as they're at the 38 of the Buckeyes. They go to the bone. Gilbert, the lead back in the bone. Malulu has a ball stripped. It's picked up. They can run with that. It's picked up by the Buckeyes all the way to the 42-yard line. Excellent job that time. Picking it up was Mark Williams, the linebacker. The ball fumbled across the line of scrimmage.
We'll take a look at it. See what happens. He's faking it. Right there. Great reaction by the defensive lineman to get penetration. When you run a true wishbone, Gary, and you put the ball into the fullback and you leave it there, if someone penetrates, you're in trouble, because if you're trying to pull it out, there's a chance for the ball to come loose, and that's exactly what happened that time.
Williams coming up with a fumble recovery. They say he was behind the line of scrimmage. If it was before or on the other side of the line of scrimmage, you could advance it.
Correct.
But he could not, because they say he was not past the line of scrimmage. So they mark it the 41, and what a big turnover for Ohio State. Things were not going their way up to this point.
They dodged a very big bullet.
Benote moving it up close to the 45-yard line. Malulu on that last play hardly had time to even start the option, and he was smothered, and then Williams took over from there. Jimmy Hopkins made the stop on the last play. Ohio State with a gift. Coming up Monday night, this will be a good one from Texas Stadium. The Cowboys and the Redskins. Troy Aikman against Mark Rippon. 9 o'clock Eastern here on ABC. Just short of the 45. 2nd and 6. Nice fake, but didn't fool anybody, and especially Richard Maddox. Did he hammer Kent Graham?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Half-time adjustments. That was something he never did in the first half.
Oh.
He was watching the play. Take a look. You see the fake. He's got everyone fooled. But Maddox is now responsible just for that quarterback to some degree in their adjustments. So he's not going to go chasing that running back.
Bad foot and all. Now, Tommy will tell you, when he's healthy, he's our best football player. Maddox, a loss of 11 all the way back to the 34. Graham, play action again. Wide open state line to the 40 of Arizona. And so they come right back. An 11-yard loss. And now to the 40-yard line, first down, Ohio State. So the Buckeyes climbing out of a very precarious situation. They led at halftime 17-7, had their lead cut to 3 after a fumble was recovered by Arizona. And now the Buckeyes, before a record crowd here in Ohio Stadium, with 6:43 left in the third quarter, have just completed a 26-yard pass to the Arizona 40-yard line. Chase in the backfield. Receivers wide left and wide right. Graham changing the play. Ball deflected. That was Jimmy Hopkins, number 82. We got a hand up on the ball. Kent Graham, the new quarterback, the transfer from Notre Dame, has done a very fine job for this Ohio State team, engineering a 10-point halftime lead. In the second half, all of a sudden, though, Arizona's taken that option game away.
Taking the option game away, but what they're also doing, Gary, Arizona, is staying with the same defensive look and playing man-to-man coverage. That last play, that big play they had, was man-to-man coverage. He got the blocking he needed, a straight drop-back passing situation, and he's picking it apart.
Both Hopkins and Maddox are in now at defensive ends. 5 defensive backs for Arizona. Handoff, Benote. He had 129 yards in the first half. His longest, a 57-yard run, and he's dropped at the 35-yard line. 3rd and 5 now. Heath Gray and Tony Bowie over on the stop. Washington in the Pac-10 leading Stanford. USC will play next on ABC. UCLA later. Oregon State, who defeated this Arizona team last year, leading in their game. 3rd and 5 from the 35 of Arizona. Turnovers here in this second half of play. 1 each. Jeff Ellis has now come in at tight end. He's the guy who just got eligible this week. Again, Graham on the play action fake. He finds his man inside the 30-yard line. That being Benote, and his first down catch will move the ball to the 27-yard line.
Now, I'm not trying to nitpick here, Gary, but as well as number 56, Richard Mallett, has played since they've come back in the second half, he allowed them the time to make this play happen. Now, if he continues his rush upfield and comes around this block, he then forces Graham up. But he stays to the outside. He's looking. He hesitates. Gives him the time to do it. He's got to keep coming. Even if he goes past him and comes back, he's just got to keep coming.
Graham again showing some poise, and now Tom Quinn is going to stop it again. The clock. Graham has shown a real poise and savvy in the pocket. Scrambling around, finding and buying additional time. Now, Arizona's used another timeout. They have only 1 left, and we're in the 3rd quarter. So Dick Tomey cannot be happy about that. Both of those timeouts coming defensively. So Ohio State will come over. And Tomey, whose team was down by 10, had cut it to 3. Looked like they were really going to turn this game completely around, and then they also suffer the turnover.
That was a great play by, and I can't tell you which lineman it was. I didn't see the number clear. One of the Ohio State linemen, I believe it was John Kaczerski, who came in and got the penetration, forced the fumble. They picked it up, and suddenly what looked like a bad situation where they had given up field position, they had field position.
Elliot Uzelac, the new offensive coordinator. They have some time now to think about this first down call. Kent Graham out of Wheaton, Illinois. A lot of good players have come from there. Red Grange, Chuck Long played for Iowa and now out of a job in the National Football League. There's the timeout situation, and I know Dick Tomey didn't want to use 2 timeouts this early in the game.
I have no understanding at this point of why they use those 2.
Graham is 7 of 13, 98 yards thus far. Tomey, who was a WAC coach of the year when he was in Hawaii. North Carolina State with a victory. That game's on ABC. Georgia with the lead. First down. This is Cothran. Cothran to the 20-yard line, and he just won't go down. Look at this. He's still on his feet. And a flag is thrown. Kent Graham up there cheerleading. He was trying to help that pile move further, and we may have a face mask. Let's see.
Well, if he was trying to help the pile move further, it could be a flag on him.
He was just gesturing that way. Now there's the face mask. What is that old story? Momentum. And all of a sudden, it's turned back to Ohio State's favor.
Little Mo. We'll take a look. There goes Jeff. Now, I'm surprised. He's got such great leg power. Watch here. He gets hit.
On the defense.
Continues to stay up. Now he's just driving and driving. And the face mask had to be incidental.
Very incidental. Cawthorn's carried the ball 3 times for 40 yards. They say Bobby Rowland was the guy who got a hand on the mass, so half the distance will move the ball. 1st and goal to the 9-yard line. Ohio State with a 3-point lead, just outside 5 minutes left in the 3rd. Menotti stays on his feet. He's to the 2. This guy really has good tilt when he runs with the ball, always seemingly falling forward.
Rob Waldrop gets another hand in, but a hand on his ankles is not enough to bring him down.
So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 2. Menotti, prior to that last carry, at 141 yards.
Have a terrific surge right here. What I've noticed about all of these Ohio State running backs, Gary, is that they don't just run hard, but they're also great blockers. So when they all set up in the backfield, you're not going to lose anything no matter who you hand the ball up to in terms of getting a key block out front.
Hand off to Houston, the fullback. And Houston's in for the touchdown. William Houston.
He's actually stopped about 2 yards from the goal line. He just continues to drive in.
He's a 240-pounder. He was a heavyweight wrestling champ in Ohio his senior year out of Trotwood, Ohio, and he wrestled his way in there. Tim Williams, point after attempt. And Ohio State has retaken a little bit of the control that they looked like was fast getting away from them. 24-14, the Buckeyes for the 2nd time lead by 10.
Oh, he looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent groom.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
You?
Just one.
What?
That I waited 25 years to give you this.
The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
At Thrifty Car Rental, we understand how therapeutic vacations can be. Getting away from the little power plays, reassessing your personal goals. So to help make your vacation a relaxing one, Thrifty offers an extensive choice of vehicles at some remarkably reasonable rates. For the last thing you need to be doing on vacation
More ice, Mr. Gretzky?
Maybe later.
is worrying about money.
Is that Michael?
Yeah. Starts college next year.
How's mine? When Mike told me the price of his first choice.
I know what you mean. I got this broker at Kane Weber. She put me in a 0 coupon
To cover college. Huh. Well, when did she do that?
It's got to be 10, 11 years.
10 years ago? How did she know that's what you needed?
She asked.
Ohio State, for the 2nd time, leads by 10. They led by 10 at halftime. Now with 4:15 in the 3rd, they're back by that margin. Chuck Levy, who's averaged over 31 yards a return today on kickoffs, goes back to the 5. His longest was a 47-yarder. So the Buckeyes, who were backed up seemingly the entire quarter, took a turnover and marched at 59 yards, with William Houston taking it in. Tim Williams kicking off to Levy. The exciting freshman's on his way. Out to the 21. So Arizona will take over from there. Ryan Cook was down there to make the stop after a 17-yard return. By the way, a couple of injury updates. Sean Harris and Mario Hampton both out of the game with sprained knees. And the preliminary diagnosis from Butch Henry, the sports information director of the U of A, is they'll be out for 2 weeks. So Craig Gilbert continues to be the fullback in the absence of Hampton. Galloway out for Ohio State with an ankle injury. And Lamont Lovett carrying for the first time. He's the guy who started the last 5 games for Arizona. And there's Herman again, Judah Herman. He set a high school record when he was a junior, 279 tackles, which is considered to be a national high school record, playing in Bainbridge, Ohio. Been hurt a lot, not very big, but oh, is he tough. 2nd and 8. Malulu being flushed out. 3 Buckeyes after him, and he completes it on the far side. A very fine heads-up play. Bullock on the receiving end. And Bullock, who didn't catch a pass last year, the track All-American, catches this one for 17 yards.
This is just an effort by Bullock to get open. You see the wall there, people being blocked out. He's getting a little pressure from his right, so he scrambles. Bullock's a sprinter, has no playing time per se. Kind of shows up right there as he drops to his knees after making that catch instead of staying on his feet to get more yardage.
He and David Lockhart ran on the Arizona 4x100 relay team, finished 2nd in the NCAA. Hand off to Billy Johnson. Johnson, who hasn't really got that much playing time today, brings it out close to the 44-yard line.
Arizona really needs to change up. They came into this ball game, Gary, running on first down 72% of the time. And so far today, I have not seen one first down pass, and the OSU defense just lines up and waits for the run.
That's a good point, because Dick Tomey told us he wanted to throw on first down. Bullock comes to the near side along with Bond. Johnson in a slot. 2nd and 7, Malulu. And you know what? He had Bullock open, and Johnson went up and tried to make the catch at the 45. I think Bullock thought the ball was headed to him.
Well, he should have. There were 2 receivers. Bullock, they were all in the same line of the ball. I mean, they were just lined up in tandem. The pattern had to be blown by one of the 2 receivers.
3rd and 7. Arizona on 3rd downs, 1 of 5 thus far. Malulu pitches back to Gilbert. Gilbert doesn't get much. It's 4th down. A big collision on the far side. That's Chico Nelson, who really poppy. He's not very big, 190 pounds, and now he's shaken up. He took a real shot as he collided with Craig Gilbert.
It's his eye.
Out of Sarasota, Florida. Big-time hitter was the label on him, and there was certainly evidence there. He's just groggy.
Oh, maybe it's a contact. We'll take a look. Chico Nelson's number 13. The early pitch forced by Jason Simmons.
Pretty good collision, huh?
Yeah, just put his head into it.
Gilbert weighs 230 pounds. He's a former linebacker, and Nelson's still talking to somebody as he comes off.
He's holding something in his hand. I think it was a contact. Does he wear contacts? Do we know?
Graham to punt from the 30-yard line. Stabline goes back for Ohio State. 2:23 left in the 3rd quarter. Buckeyes lead it by 10. High snap. Fair catch called for by Stabline, and he'll take it at the 13-yard line. It was a 47-yard punt that time, and let's look ahead to next Saturday. We have an outstanding doubleheader coming your way. First at 3:30 Eastern, Notre Dame. Big win today over Indiana, taking on the Wolverines of Michigan. Then at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, the 5th-ranked Nittany Lions of Penn State going to USC. And I would say this, Larry Smith, after that Memphis State upset, I would think has the attention of the Trojans.
And he does, and with Penn State playing so well, it's an opportunity for them to get back in the top rankings with an upset win.
I don't think in any way Joe Paterno wanted them to get upset before they played him. Hand off to Scotty Graham. He's buried. They try to go wide. This Arizona team has reacted very well. A lot of the damage has been right up the middle, some quick hitters.
Certainly has. I was keeping an eye on Chico Nelson when he went to the sideline. It was a contact. It slipped out of his eye. He got it, didn't want to lose it. And I don't blame him. This grass is about 3 inches long, it seems like.
Well, Arizona talked about it. They have that tiff grass back in Tucson, which is very short nap. This is long, and I know Dick Tomey said, wow, I'd hate to hit out of this rough.
I play this stuff all the time when I play golf.
Yeah, I know. I played with it. Second down, 11. Graham on a sprint out. Wide open. Dante Lee. He's dangerous in the open field, and he's going to be stopped at the 22. He's a former running back who they want to get the ball to in the open field, and you can see why. A gain of 11 on the play. The Goodyear Blimp, Spirit of Akron, the newest of the Goodyear fleet, currently traveling on the Blimp Tour of 91. The Spirit made its national TV debut here on ABC just 2 years ago in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And there it is. Great shots, guys, all the way up above the horseshoe here in Ohio Stadium.
And a clear September day always helps.
Boy, this is beautiful weather, isn't it? It's not even fall yet, but it's like fall conditions. Third down and 3. On the option, Graham, and he stays on his feet. And that may be enough for the first down. Let's see where they mark it. Ty Parton eventually there. Let's see where they mark the ball. It will be a first down. Great resourceful effort by Kent Graham.
Now we're seeing the Ohio State offense making adjustments. They're having problems dropping back to throw the football in the play action, so now they come back, they sprint and throw a football. This time they just come right out with the option. They're not wasting any more time.
That was Maddox who had made the penetration, and Graham, 6'5", bending way down to stay on his feet. First down at the 26-yard line. Snow with the ball. Out to the 30-yard line. Marcel Wade made the stop for Arizona as you see the time ticking down to the end of this third quarter. Ohio State led by 10 at halftime. They had it cut to 3 and now enjoy a 10-point lead after 3 quarters in this opener of 1991. 92,730, a record crowd watching as we get ready for the fourth quarter. Ohio State 24, Arizona 14. We'll return with more action between Arizona and Ohio State after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
I hope you're enjoying your evening.
If you suffer from chronic halitosis, try Halo. Formulated...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and...
Tonight on the Adventure Channel, join explorer Marceau Soulinaire as he unlocks the mystery of the Great Barrier Reef.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
The Accord 4-door sedan. Took a good idea and built on it. Introducing the Accord wagon from Honda.
Tonight, meet the real Crocodile Dundee.
The crocodile that gets you never see.
The Crocodile's Revenge on ABC's World of Discovery tonight.
Nearly 40 years ago, my family started manufacturing Southwestern paints. Since that time, we have consistently produced a high-quality product made to withstand the Southwest climate. Unlike many of our competitors, all our profits stay in Tucson to help our economy stay strong. Request that your architect, builder, roofer, or painter use Southwestern paint products. Not only will you be getting a quality product, but you'll be doing your share to help keep Tucson first.
For years, you've depended on State Farm to insure your car. But did you know you can also depend on us to protect your family's future? State Farm. We sell life insurance.
Brought to you by your Tucson State Farm professionals. Check the yellow pages for the agent nearest you.
Sports with Dave Silver and Sabrina Dorsey.
housekeeping here at Ohio Stadium. Second year they've gone to the prescription athletic turf, which was designed at Purdue. Michigan's going to natural grass. Iowa's already got it in. Purdue. And I love it, don't you?
Much better. I wish we had it in Pittsburgh. Who knows? I might have played 12 or 14 years.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be in the booth now. We start the fourth quarter. Second down, 6 yards to go from the 30. Kent Graham of the Buckeyes with a 10-point lead. Hand off to Snow. Snow trying to get the corner. He's got it. And he'll go out at the 37-yard line. Daryl Morrison. They're letting this guy just kind of work his way in. Try not to put too much pressure on him. As Snow at about 85% in the estimation of John Cooper.
Yeah, but it's pretty obvious Carlos Snow at 85% is better than a lot of backs around the country.
Third quarter statistics. Look at Ohio State on the ground.
182 yards. Again, these yards aren't coming as a result of real long drives. After the turnover for Ohio State, and they took the ball and marched down the field. They only marched 59 yards.
Well, both teams have turned it over once here in the second half. Ohio State is able to survive theirs. On the other hand, Arizona still hasn't recovered from their big turnover. That is Daryl Morrison, the junior college transfer from Phoenix College. Played high school ball at Camelback in the Phoenix area.
We'll take a look at him. He takes on a block. He's going after Snow. Snow's got a good angle on him and just basically outruns him. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't go upfield too far. Pushes him out of bounds. You know, Daryl Morrison has never played on a winning football team. Not in high school, not in junior college, and that's the one thing he wants desperately to do is to be on a winner.
Well, you know, he was quite a basketball player. Gave up basketball to start making his bid in the football circles, and now on a first down from the 37-yard line. Graham with the fake to Edwards, and he can't hang on. He had to go high at 6'5". Graham threw that ball a long ways over there to try to complete the ball to Bernard Edwards.
And it didn't, and it never came down. Bernard had to go up and looked like he was a basketball player trying to pull down the rebound off a rim. And then Richard Holt, number 37, will come in and will make sure that he can't hang on to it as he comes down to the ground. Right there.
2nd and 10. Greg Beatty now comes in at a wide receiver. There's Holt, a starter a year ago for these Wildcats. Michigan's been battling uphill all day against the Boston College team. Getting ready for next week when they meet Notre Dame. Hand off to Snow, and Snow with Hopkins making the stop. Hopkins has really played a strong game. There it is. Look at this. Boston College has moved within 1.
I think that's what a lot of people love about college football. You don't know what's going to happen. Every Saturday when these young men put on the pads and start to play, teams come up, play the game of the season.
I thought the Washington-Stanford score would be closer than that, 28-7. Don James had to make a change at quarterback. He lost Mark Brunell. Billy Joe Holbert was to start there. They are clicking early. 3rd down now, 12 yards to go. Graham to Stabline, and that'll be a first down. Stabline has been a clutch receiver today. Jay Phillips defending on the play. 16-yard gain.
We'll take a look. Brian Stabline proving his worth right here. He just gets in front of Jay Phillips, and the ball is thrown well. He goes up for it high, but he turns his body into the football, protecting that football. Comes away with the catch.
Stabline, there's his day, 5 for 80. Seemingly on 3rd down, he's been the guy they've gone to all day long. Handoff comes to Cothran. Cothran had a tough time getting that play underway. Some penetration had been made by Hopkins further up the field, and then Skurlock and Maddox finish it up. Well, the U.S. Open. Let's catch you up on what's happened there in the tennis world. Connors losing in straight sets to the French Open champion Jim Courier. The 39-year-old Magic ended, and Edberg over Lindell. And then in the finals, Monica Seles, 17 years old, beating Navratilova. Navratilova had played in her first U.S. Open before Seles was even born. 2nd and 8. Graham on the pitch to Benote. Scurlock tripped him up. Scurlock just got a piece of him and stopped him from picking up the first down. I can't say enough for number 22. He's played all over the football field.
I already talked about his size, 5'11", 198 pounds, but he came into camp bench pressing, lifting over 401 pounds.
You should see the arms on him. I believe it.
You see the numbers
the other day.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of tackling of Butler Benote. You saw his stats right there.
Impressive day. Benote getting his chance today, and he has certainly availed himself well. Hand off to Butler again. And he is very close to the first down inside the 40-yard line.
And Gary, as we reflect momentarily on the performance of Butler Benote, kind of puts into perspective what was happening with Robert Smith. You see this great performance, and the coaches knew that he was capable of playing this well.
Well, they knew that Smith was going to have to fight for his job with both Snow and Benote. I don't think a lot of people believed the story about Benote, but Cooper kept saying, wait till you see this guy, wait until you see him. Well, we've seen him, and I'm impressed. Very quick, very clever back, and he has certainly given Arizona fits today. That was a first down at the 39. We have a timeout. I think Ohio State had a problem. Let's see.
Let me count them. There are only 10 players on the field. There are only 10 players on the field.
And I think this guy, Ellis, maybe was to be the 11th. We don't know, but we'll come back. Ohio State leading by 10.
Just how realistic is the audio system in the Lexus LS 400?
You know that sinking feeling? You turn the key and nothing.
When it gets this hot, you'd better get to Sears.
I hear my battery gets baked.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. In demanding tests for starting power, Die Hard performed 3 times better than industry standards.
This time, I'm getting a Die Hard.
Sears Die Hard battery, more power when you need it most.
Who's going to back it better than Sears?
Ben and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cruel. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
NFC East rivals collide. The Washington Redskins rumble into Dallas for a showdown with the Cowboys. This week on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Coming up, the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. We'll be going to New York and joining Roger Quibel. This game still has 12:02 left to go, and you get the feeling Arizona's going to have to make a stop here pretty soon. Already down by 10 points. As we come back, first down, Ohio State using a timeout. They had an alignment problem. Line of scrimmage, the 38 of Arizona. Graham to Benote, and good reaction that time. Holt comes flying over there. So does Bobby Rowland. Benote probably says to himself, I played a whole season today after last year. Only carry the ball 53 times. He's already halfway towards that. Columbus, downtown area on a beautiful day here for football in Big Ten country. Columbus, the second largest city in the country to Jacksonville, Florida, that does not have a major league franchise. And the state capital of the state of Ohio. Second down and 11. Cothran, look at this big sophomore. He's going to go all the way. Jeff Cothran, touchdown.
again, Gary. They wore him down. They wore him down. They got the blocking on the inside. Jeff Cothran was protecting the football, not wanting to turn it over. We've already documented his problems with the football in terms of the handoffs. And he just breaks clear, runs straight down the field.
He wears number 8. He wanted to wear number 29 because Eric Dickerson's his hero, but Brian Cook wears number 29, so he's wearing 8 instead, and number 8 just went 39 yards for a touchdown. Williams' point after is good. 31-14. Cothran, 5 carries, 81 yards. And the last one, a 39-yard touchdown.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. Introducing the new Fram Extra Guard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Just how realistic is the audio system in the Lexus LS 400?
Sunday.
We're gonna have a great life, Bella.
They thought it was the perfect place to start a family.
He is going to deliver your baby.
But someone else wants their child.
Your parents keep him away from me. They took your baby. There's no baby here. This is my baby. This is my baby.
Sunday, the world television premiere to save a child.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on number 2 Michigan in a college football classic next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Cothran with a 39-yard touchdown run. And look what the help he got.
We talked about Mike Scurlock not wanting to take on a guard. Right here, 68. Jason Winrow comes up, and this is a mismatch that you didn't want to have happen. As a result of this key block right here, it is Jeff Cothran, number 8, a surprise this afternoon, who just jams downfield for the touchdown.
Well, they knew he had great credentials. It was just a case he could not play last year due to not qualifying academically. They've got 3 running backs today that have really done a good job. Benote, of course, he will get most of the recognition due to his stats. Cothran and Snow has shown some flashes of brilliance.
And that was the best drive of the day. Ohio State going 86 yards, starting on their own 14, overcoming bad field position. A couple of good plays by the Arizona defense to get the touchdown.
Williams will kick off. Levy. Like to get something going here. The 25 to the 30-yard line and out to the 31. So he continues to excel in the kickoff returns. Well, let's go back and tell you what's happened thus far from the shoe. It was Benote with the first damage done. 18-yard touchdown run. Levy received a 12-yard pass from Mala'ulu to tie it up. Williams came back with a 23-yard field goal. That's how it stood after 1 quarter. Then Kent Graham on a 2-yard keeper made it 17-7. That's the way we were at halftime. Mala'ulu then on a 3-yard keeper cut it to 3 as we began the second half, and we'll continue on in a moment. Mala'ulu back to throw and makes the connection on the far side, not picking up much. Good reaction that time by Tovar. And then William Houston capping a drive, making it 24-14. That capped a 59-yard drive. But just a moment ago, Cothran, 39-yard romp, untouched into the end zone. And that's where we are right now.
That was the first time Arizona threw the ball on first down.
2nd and 9. They come out throwing again. And is that intercepted? No, it was trapped. Ryan Cook pleading his case, but he trapped it. So Mala'ulu throwing for 1 yard, coming right back, and almost got that one intercepted.
We'll take another look at it. It is an uphill battle to convince a man who wants to run the football, and I'm talking about Dick Tomey, that he should throw the football a little bit more. And especially when your quarterback and your receivers are not having a great day.
Well, they hired a new quarterback coach, Gerald Carr. He now has a new offensive coordinator in Pat Hill. Malulu trying to take all of that coaching, turn it into a better passing team that was last in the Pac-10 last season. Ohio State obviously not just dominating on the scoreboard, but everywhere. Malulu in real trouble. Throws it up the field, intercepted and dropped. Roger Harper had it and dropped it. Jason Simmons was putting the heat on Malulu as an ill-advised throw. He got away with that. Could have been his second interception of the day.
And it should have been, if it weren't for the heads-up play of guess who? Chuck Levy. This ball would have been picked off. It was caught. And Chuck Levy was right there, reached up, and knocked the ball down for an incomplete pass.
So Adam Graham will go back and punt. And Arizona's attempt to throw the football wasn't all that impressive, as Ohio State now will send Stabline back. 11 minutes to go in the game. 31-14 the Buckeyes. Not a very good kick. Stabline's going to let it hit, though. And it'll be down at the 36-yard line. I wonder now if John Cooper take a look at another quarterback. He has 3 that he's very excited about. Herb Street is his second quarterback. Kent Graham has certainly played well today, and I know he wants to get some experience with the other quarterbacks, but Graham is coming back in.
I think rightfully so. You want to give him as much experience as possible. You want to leave him in there, let him feel comfortable. He might try and do a couple of different things now with his offense. See if he can control a football game, not just get up on top.
Raymond Harris is in the backfield. This is Harris with the ball. He breaks the initial tackle from Hopkins, breaks another tackle, and continues up the field. That is power running. They call him the ultra back because he can play tailback or fullback. We're going to mark that one out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Second down coming up, 4 yards to go.
Harris just got there on the sideline and did not want to step out of bounds. Right now, they want to consume the clock and put this game away.
Well, John Cooper must feel a great deal of relief right now. He is on the hot spot here in Columbus. Here's a handoff to Harris. He runs through the arms of Ty Parton and stays on his feet to about the 45. Jamal Lee finally chases him down. There's Parton, who had him for a moment, but couldn't hang on. Jamal Lee. It doesn't seem to matter who they put in that backfield. They just run with authority. Man shaken up on the play is Maddox for Arizona. He's up and walking as they'll help him off the field.
Talked about that foot injury. That's been giving him problems all summer long.
Don't forget the doubleheader once again. Going to be a special day of football on ABC. Starts at 3:30 Eastern. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Michigan. And then to be followed at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. USC and the Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles against Penn State. Hand off to Raymond Harris. And they just send these running backs at you in waves as he stays on his feet to the 47 of the U of A.
Keith Gray had him around the shoulder pads and had to pick him up and just lay him down on the ground. Jamal Lee, number 15, was in on that stop also.
Raymond Harris picking up the first down to the 47.
Gary, it's a simple case at this point. From Ohio State, the offensive line seemingly has just worn down Arizona's defensive line and linebacking core. They're just driving them down the field now.
Well, Arizona knew they'd have a tough time in the trenches trying to match up physically. They wanted to change things up a little bit. And right now, the Buckeyes, Scarlet and Gray, are just coming at them. Here's Harris again. He just keeps going all the way into the 39-yard line area of Arizona, a gain of 8. Tony Bowie. Now, we talked about Michigan, the game next week. Now with a 21-13 lead. Coming from behind in that game, and Notre Dame beating Bill Mallory and the Hoosiers of Indiana convincingly. Tell you, this Ohio State team has a chance to have a very good year. They play Louisville, who lost their quarterback in a game earlier this week. And they have Washington State, 7 home games. They do have to go to Ann Arbor, however. 2nd and 2. Graham keeps and drops. Excellent reaction by Jay Phillips. He's out of El Paso, a sophomore, a walk-on. That'll move the ball back out to the 41-yard line.
Take a look right down the line. A little fake on the inside. Now see how he runs that option parallel close to the line of scrimmage? He stopped there, but what we saw George Malaulu doing was giving ground on the option, which allowed the defensive line to get a better angle on him and stopping their option.
This has been band day. Some of the alums coming back to perform in the band and performing for you there. 3rd down 4. And I think the left side fired off before the snap of the ball. And that would be Hartman, number 52, the junior.
Yep. Lynn Hartman.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
It's one of the few mistakes this offense of Ohio State has made since early in the 3rd quarter. After the turnover by Benote and setting up the touchdown to cut it to 3, since that time, Ohio State has played, I would say, a convincing style of football.
It woke them up a little bit, Gary. They came back in the second half, everyone making a few adjustments. Suddenly, Arizona's up very quick, and what seemed like a good lead was a very small lead at 3 points. Now they were fortunate to get the turnover with Arizona threatening.
3rd down and 9 now for OSU. Graham almost doesn't get that hand off to Cotton again, and here he goes to the 30, 25, and remember this guy, Jeff Cothran. He's going to be something special. Every time he and Graham make the exchange, though, you wonder if it's going to happen.
We'll take a look at it. I like the way he runs, Gary. I like how these backs complement each other. Everyone's style is just a little bit different. You have Cothran, who's he's a power runner. He's running straight up and down the field. He's not looking for a move to make. He's trying to run through those tacklers. You see he's getting a block downfield. Very good.
6'2", 215, and he is over 100 yards. So 2 backs for Ohio State over the century mark. Cothran and Benote. Graham giving off this time for Ramon Harris. He's on his way, a flag. Harris to the 5. Ramon Harris to the 2, but let's see what the penalty flag's all about. It's going to be against Ohio State. Holding. That seems to be the only thing that's stopping Ohio State right now is the penalty. Boy, I tell you, there's a tired Arizona defense down there. Jimmy Hopkins at the 5. He's gasping for air. They've been out on the field a long time.
We'll take a look at the hold. 59 is a man they're calling it on, Rod Smith. He's got a good grip there, Gary.
Not any more than they had on Lawrence Taylor Monday night. They never called. I had to get that in. So the line of scrimmage back to the 35-yard line, the 1st and 20. Well, there are some really tired people now. Dick Tomey has taken Hopkins out. No, Hopkins is still in there. I thought he took him out. He's still in. He was just absolutely exhausted a moment ago. As Ohio State seemingly has had the football this entire 4th quarter and most of the 2nd half. 7:24 left in the game. Graham with the play action again over the middle, stayed line. Boy, he has been great today. There is a penalty flag back at the 40. Jay Phillips made the stop. There is Joey Galloway, who was hurt almost on the first play of the game. He sprained his ankle. Very promising redshirt freshman. This completion's going to come back. A penalty against the Buckeyes.
Against number 67, Alan Klein.
Cooper didn't like it.
No.
John, you can't be that upset. You're leading 31-14. There's Klein. Now, they think this guy is going to be their next All-American in the offensive line.
Lead just a hands. Offense, 10 yards.
So you watch him right there in the middle of the screen, right there. Pushes him in the back, down on the ground.
Klein is one of those guys who is just a little puppy, 6'7", 280 pounds, a sophomore.
they think he'll be as good a lineman as Jim Lachey, playing with the Redskins now.
It's a tall order, but he could be.
Sure is.
He's by far their best offensive lineman, and a line that was a little suspect, but obviously he's gained some confidence today. It's now 1st and 31 yards to go for a first down. Handoff. Benote. 25, 20. He stays on his feet somehow, and he got it all. He got the first down as he takes it to the 13-yard line. What a piece of running.
Oh. As I said, each one of these young men is very different, and the way they run the football. We had Jeff Cothran, who was just running straight down the field, but Benote, look at the moves he makes on this play. He gets a blocking up front. Let's start there. The offensive line, number 8, Jeff Cothran, gives him a good block, blocking downfield. Now watch this. He gets grabbed, keeps his balance, he changes, a little step, he keeps his balance, he's changing again, he makes another cut before he's pulled down from behind.
189 yards for Benote. Tony Bowie is down for Arizona. He's the starting shortstop on the Arizona baseball team and now shaken up at the 12-yard line. So Benote with 189. We had 112 yards for Cothran. And totally in this game, rushing for Ohio State, they've had a big, big afternoon. And they've answered some questions.
Now they've answered the questions about the offensive line. As we said earlier, Paul Long at center and Dave Mono at guard had really not played at all, but they pulled together here. Everyone playing as a good unit, but Gary, what you hate to see at this point in the ball game is what's happening here. They're driving down the field, they're getting great plays, but they're really hurting this Arizona defense now. Guys are tired and starting to get hurt, being carried off the field.
Bowie walks off on his own power. It was 1st and 31 before Benote went 34 yards. Thus far, 314 yards rushing for Ohio State. Cothran. He's to the 8-yard line. Gerlach made the stop there. We're going to go to New York now. Let's get an update. Here's Roger Twibel.
Well, thank you very much, Gary. Michigan getting a real scare at Chestnut Hill. But here in the 4th quarter, Elvis Gerbach, the single-man coverage on Desmond Howard, and that means touchdown. And the Wolverines now lead at 21-13. Let's go back to Gary.
Roger, thank you. Now, Michigan getting through that one, getting ready then for that Notre Dame game. And those are always dangerous games, aren't they, Lynn, when you got a team like Notre Dame just around the corner?
Yeah, the tendency is to think about that big game coming up because you know how important it is. You really want it. You know, Michigan's got a chance to play for a national championship this year. So it's important for them not to fall to a team like Notre Dame so you overlook a Boston College. But it's even better when they come away with a win. They get that little scare. They know what their own mortality is, shall we say, in football. And they come back with a little more resolve.
Well, we have a timeout. You can see Arizona so tired. Skurlock down on a knee. We're going to come back with 6:02 to go. Ohio State with a 31-14 lead.
First, we created the LS400 luxury sedan. Now we've taken everything we've learned and condensed it. Introducing the Lexus ES300. All the performance of a sports sedan, all the luxury of a Lexus.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When you're out street hiking, you better know how to read the terrain. First, trust your instincts. By all means, avoid distractions. Do your best to preserve the wildlife, because street hikers don't just walk, they hike. Fresh shoes, Joe.
31-14. Ohio State. 6:02. Happy birthday to Tony Gambino. I think he's, what, 39 now?
39. Oh. 32 maybe.
Well, maybe a little more. I can't tell. Does he color his hair or not? I can't tell.
No, it's pretty thick. Maybe is it his?
I don't know. Happy birthday, Tony. From the 9-yard line now. Second down. They can pick up a first and goal at the 2. Kent Graham. Out to Raymond Harris. And Harris to the 1. Warner Smith, the true freshman, made the stop.
Yeah, they're just grinding it out now. I think what John Cooper is trying to do here, Gary, is just pull his team together as a unit. To let them know what the personality is going to be, let the leadership come through, give everybody a chance to do what he wants them to do in the real big games that are coming up in the future.
Well, John Cooper, feeling the heat, has certainly got to be smiling and thinking to himself, what a fine start we've got to this 1991 season.
Which way to get? Right, left, or up the middle, Gary?
Straight up the middle. And Houston with his second touchdown of the day. William Houston, who earlier scored from 2 yards out, now from 1 yard away.
You were right, Gary. Straight up the middle. They've been doing it consistently on this drive. Nothing fancy. Taking advantage of some small people like Scurlock in the middle, who's been playing well, but he just cannot take on those guys that big, that strong, all day long.
Williams, Tim Williams, adds a point after. 38-14. Ohio State well on their way to a victory with 5:15 left to go in the game.
We invested $100 million in the latest diagnostic equipment. And another $5 million a year training our expert technicians to use it. We are Goodyear certified auto service retailers, and we believe everything we do, from tires to tune-ups, should live up to the most exacting standards of all. Yours and ours. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
First, we created the LS400 luxury sedan. Now we've taken everything we've learned and condensed it. Introducing the Lexus ES300. All the performance of a sports sedan, all the luxury of a Lexus.
Well, John Cooper, since coming to Ohio State, has never lost an opening game. He's 3-0 coming into this one. And well on his way to 4-0. William Houston scoring his second touchdown of the day. And it's been a juggernaut on the ground by this Ohio State team.
And you're asking the biggest game rushing for Ohio State?
Let me guess.
Yes.
Keith Byers.
No, I mean for a team.
Oh, for a team.
For Ohio State team.
Well, Byers, I think, got 274 yards in a game one time.
Well, rushing yards for the team, 517 versus Illinois in 1962.
62?
Yes.
Wow. Well, they got a ways to go yet then. Arizona, on the other hand, has not been able to run the ball. They have only 85 yards. Williams kicking off. Levy, who's had some good moments. Up to the 20 and to the 25. I wonder if they'd let Levy play some quarterback. He is a backup to Malauulu. But Malauulu evidently going to come back into the football game. Byers is correct. He had 274 yards. That's the high for an individual, so Benote will have a ways to go there, too. From the 25-yard line, well, let's see. Late getting to the huddle is Levy. He's going to stay in, but Malauulu will be the quarterback. I thought for a moment they're going to make a change. 5:09 left to go. Alulu will come out throwing, and he completes it to Bond. Bond to the 45 and hit hard.
I don't know if they hit Bond or if those two Ohio State helmets were hitting each other.
21-yard gain.
I think it would be a disservice to George to take him out now. I mean, he's not the reason singularly why this team is behind, and you would really hurt his confidence if you took him out now.
Alulu with a 21-yard completion. Comes out throwing to Levy. Levy makes a move and gets out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and that'll be another first down. Clemson easily winning their game today. Pittsburgh will have on Thanksgiving Day against Penn State. West Virginia now in that Big East Conference.
Of course, Dr. Gee, who's the president here, was president at West Virginia.
That's right.
Before he went to Colorado.
Between the hedges, Georgia won there. From the 41 now, a first down. Well, this will be a good drill now for Arizona. Their hurry-up offense trying to throw the football with 4:54 left in the game. Alulu's got some time over the middle, wide open. Lamar Lovett, or I should say Lovett, and Lovett is dropped at the 31. He caught 100 passes his senior year in high school. There he is, his brother Lamont, the running back. This is Lamar Lovett. They keep moving the sticks. Another first down to the 31. 3 passes and 3 first downs. Billy Johnson. Johnson with a first to the 20, 15, and at the 14 is where he's dropped there.
Now, while Arizona continues to move this ball, Gary, I mean, I think it's safe to say they probably won't win this ball game, but they are making strides right now towards gaining a little more confidence and doing some things correctly in their effort to get ready for Stanford next week as they begin their challenge in the Pac-10.
There's Lovett. Lovett making another grab. He's a redshirt freshman. Real excited about him, and now he makes a couple of catches late. That's got to help his confidence. Gain on the play of 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Alulu again, Lovett again, and Cook, who's been headhunting all day long. Boy, he'll hit you. Knocks him out there, short of the first down. They didn't pick up much on that play, a couple of yards.
Isn't it interesting, Gary? Coaches come in and they say they want to do some different things in terms of throwing the football. We heard Dick say that he wanted to run his no-huddle offense early in the ball game, but the passing and the no-huddle offense doesn't come late. Doesn't come until late in the ball game.
Cooper wants a timeout. He's having problems with some defensive replacements. He made some mass substitutions after that last completion, and evidently it just never did materialize. He put a lot of his first stringers back in there. And so they will come to the near sideline with a timeout. 4:05 left to go in the game. Ohio State on their way to victory.
In my considered opinion, it's okay to enjoy mowing one's lawn.
But two intense competitors on opposite sidelines today, and the guy on the left's getting the better of it. Ohio State, a dominating performance. Their time of possession at this point is over 36 minutes to Arizona's 19. During that last timeout, Cooper upset. He didn't get his first stringers in time, so he had to use the timeout. His current drive, 6 plays, 68 yards. Alulu moving the team very effectively. 3rd down and 3. Not going anywhere this time, though. That'll bring up a 4th down as Johnson just couldn't find any place to run. A lot of scarlet and gray in his way.
Well, they decided to go with a man-to-man coverage. A lot more people on that defensive line.
And so now Arizona's going to use a timeout. They have none remaining. That's their last one as they lost yardage out to the 9. Well, at the start of the broadcast, we talked about the fact that Robert Smith who was a freshman of the year, who broke Archie Griffin's rushing record, Ohio State, had left the football team, and amidst a lot of controversy said that he just didn't feel that athletics and academics could be compatible for him. And so he elected to leave. We talked to Dr. Gordon Gee, the president of the University of Ohio State, and asked him for his thoughts on the situation.
Ohio State is a place that has one of the most distinguished track records in the country in terms of its relationship between its athletic program and its academic program. And that sometimes gets lost when unfortunate things are said. Ohio State is a program that is a shining star in this country, and I feel very good about that. At the same time, I feel equally good about a young man who has his priorities and his head on straight and says, look, I'm going to go on and do my thing. Good for him, and I'm with him.
Well, I know John Cooper told us explicitly yesterday the door is still open for Robert Smith should he want to come back.
And we have to keep in mind, these are very young men just out of high school who are confronted with a lot of pressures in different situations. He's looking at wanting to be a pre-med student. He may change his mind later on. He's probably, if he's watching this game, he's saying, I wish I was running for over 100 yards today.
4th and 5 after this timeout. Blitz coming up the middle. Malulu in the end zone, but no one could get there. Levy, the closest to the ball. Malulu had a lot of pressure that time. Coming up the middle, it was Jason Simmons and Dick Tomey who had his team move so effectively, then get inside the 10-yard line and couldn't finish it off. And so Ohio State will take over just inside the 10-yard line. There's Kaczerski, who was out all but one game last year due to a knee injury. They're glad to have him back. And Malulu playing here today. There's some things that he's done well, but there's been some moments where you just as soon forget about him. Wow, California 79 points. Did you see that? 79?
How many yards did White rush for?
I don't know, Russell White. Raymond Harris carrying the ball, and he'll lose yardage back to the 5. And now we have a new quarterback. Herbstreit is in. He is number 4. He was the first recruit for the Buckeyes when John Cooper took over. He's more of an option type quarterback. He played an option type offense, and at 6'2", 215 pounds. They like him a lot, but the way Kent Graham played, Herbstreit may find it very difficult to get into playing time.
Kirk only had 27 minutes of playing time coming to the game. He's not going to get much more here this afternoon.
He also holds on all the placements. Herbstreit giving off to Harris again. Harris gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Well, we have to apologize to you. The Thrifty Car Rental postgame show will not be coming your way as we're fast running out of time. So we'll try to give you as many scores as we can. Keep you posted on what's happened thus far on this very busy Saturday afternoon. They're back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 10. Venotti with 189 yards. Now, Cothran now is officially 105 yards, but 2 running backs for Ohio State over the century mark. Handoff this time to Darren Brown, a fullback who's checked in for the first time. He'll be stopped for little or no gain, and it'll bring up a 4th down. So Ohio State now with 2 minutes left in this game will have to punt the football. Your thoughts, Lynn, on Ohio State? Has there been anything that surprised you today?
Well, I'm really surprised by the overall productivity of the running game. We thought it would be good, but it was a question mark. Very happy to see for John Cooper that he has this kind of talent. He can put it together. Very happy for the offensive line. I mean, they surprised me this afternoon, driving the football, making the good blocks, executing extremely well, and avoiding most of the mistakes.
This punt was almost blocked as the punt comes away. That was Jay Phillips who went diving after it. Tim Williams punts it away, gets it out of any danger, and Arizona will take over. Well, looks like Gary Mulder's team has found itself after trailing early in that game.
Well, you always want to know that you have that ability to kind of make some mistakes early on, be in a close ball game, and still pull it out with some big numbers at the end. That helps over the long haul. Right now, I think Arizona needs to get a couple of feel-good plays. so they can go home and point to some positives as they get ready for Stanford next week.
Malulu remains in at quarterback. Prevent defense is up. They throw, and Lovett almost had a catch at the 20-yard line. Lamar Lovett going high at the 20, just couldn't quite bring it in. And speaking of Michigan, they'll meet Notre Dame. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. And then to be followed in the second half of the doubleheader from the Los Angeles Coliseum, Penn State against those Trojans from USC.
Are you baiting me, Garrett?
I didn't say a word. Well, here we go, top 10. Florida State playing later. Boy, Washington 42-7. That's a real surprise. Penn State had a very, very impressive day. Malulu to Levy, and Levy will get the first down as he goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Let's continue on. Florida. We'll have Florida in a couple of weeks against Syracuse here on ABC. Indiana led early, but that was all.
So all the top 10 schools who are playing today come out on top.
And that's a final now. Michigan 35-13. Well, you talk about an offensive line. Michigan may have the best in the country. And Ohio State doing a little celebrating with 1:15 left in the game. Malulu will keep on this one and pitch at the last instant. And he gets it to Johnson. Very fine execution as they move it to the 15, another first down.
It was just at the edge of the range in which he could pitch that football. If he had waited a half second longer, it would have been a forward lateral.
Lamont Lovett now is checked into the backfield. He'll come split to the near side. First down just outside the 50. Malulu to the other Lovett this time. The brother act. There's been a lot of brother acts at Arizona. This time Lamar being tackled. Look at California, 86-17.
Russell White, Heisman Trophy candidate, over 100 yards.
Well, they made it to the Copper Bowl last year, California. And Cal looks like they are going to be a handful this year. So Dick Tomey will get ready for the Stanford Cardinal, who had a long afternoon against the Huskies of Washington. He said he thought this game would prepare him for the rugged Pac-10 conference, but I don't think this is what he had in mind.
Not at all. But he had some questions he wanted to answer. I don't know which ones were answered for him this afternoon.
42 seconds left in this one. Sun starting to set in the west here as Columbus, Ohio will be a happy place if you're a Buckeye fan. Malulu, and that catch is made. Very fine catch by David Lockhart. Lockhart, the sprint champion for the Arizona track team, makes a grab at the 5. They're going to that huddle with 35 seconds. They stop the clock to move the sticks and put it back into play. Malulu again scrambling around, and he's going to get buried for a long loss. Tom Lease, number 81, was the first to get there. Jason Simmons is also there. And lost back out to the 13-yard line.
And those early timeouts that we can't explain the reasoning for calling hurt them now in their effort just to try and get on the scoreboard as he downs it to stop the clock.
14 seconds. I want to thank our statistician, Richard Simmons, Joe Sullivan, our spotter. Really have enjoyed working with this crew. Bill Webb, our director, and Jimmy Ressler, our producer, as we have started the 1991 season. And right now, this Arizona team will have to retool and get ready for the Cardinals as they go home to Tucson. Line of scrimmage at 13 with 14 seconds left. This is Bill Young, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State. He's still coaching down there.
His whole life.
Malulu with 13, quarterback draw. And he's going to be buried, and that'll do it. They can't stop the clock. The time will expire. And Ohio State, impressive beginning to 1991. A record crowd of over 92,000 as the Buckeyes rush for 325 yards 2 men going over the century mark. Benote along with Cothran, a football team that had their lead cut to 3 in the early minutes of the second half, only to come back storming to win it. Mike Skurlock for Arizona is our Chevrolet most valuable player of the game, along with Butler Biote. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students.